It's time for the Tennessee Highway Safety Office High School Football Game of the Week. The Tennessee Highway Safety Office reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. The Game of the Week is also brought to you in part by Delta Dental of Tennessee and Main Street Media. Now, let's go to the field and join our play-by-play hosts live from the game. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from the lovely campus of Stewarts Creek High School here in Rutherford County. It is time for another broadcast of the Main Street Preps Thursday Night Football Game of the Week, presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Also by our friends at Delta Dental of Tennessee. Week 2 of the high school football season is upon us. Stratford is on the road here at Stewarts Creek tonight. And alongside Casey Patrick and our producer Mark Rogers, Wade Neely saying good evening. Casey, week 1 in the books. You look like you survived. You look like our teams have, dusted themselves off a little bit. We're up for an encore here. Welcome into week 2, partner.
Yeah, and it's a really beautiful week for an encore. We've got we were lucky last week. We're blessed again this week. Great weather so far. These Stewarts Creek folks have been real nice to us, been real hospitable. They even let me eat some of their food while we were here earlier. So having a good time already today.
Hey, now that's the real sign of love and of test right there, because they got a great spread and it is dangerously close to us here. So if you hear any silence, any prolonged stretches, don't mind it, folks. That's just me and Casey leaning over and helping ourselves do a little bit of the grub there. But you're right. Gorgeous facility, gorgeous setup. Terrific night for high school football. Yet again, we kind of, I don't know what we've done to the football weather gods, but keep doing it, folks, because another dandy evening here. Stratford enters this game 0-1. They went north of the border last week, Casey. They went up on the road to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and didn't necessarily go their way, especially down the stretch. It was a game that kind of got away from them, but they made it 21-13 early in the third quarter before they kind of wilted. That was Stratford's tail of the tape from last week. Stewarts Creek, meanwhile, wow, these guys continue to impress after a really, really explosive season a year ago. They took care of business as well, kind of opening up week 1. So we had two kind of mixed results here, which should make for an interesting contest here tonight.
Yeah, and one of the things I thought was interesting last week, I noticed, Stewarts Creek, they were able to get the win over Centennial in week 1, but they went down 14-0 in the first quarter. So I'm really interested to see this week if Stewarts Creek gets off to a good start or if they get off to a bad start. That may have been the difference last week for Stratford. If they had to kind of fight back there in that second half, and it got away from them from Hopkinsville. So interested to see how the first 12 minutes goes here.
It is going to be a great night for high school football, folks. Once again, we are on the campus of Stewarts Creek. Our first broadcast here in our Thursday night football Main Street Preps repertoire, our catalog, if you will. We've kind of made some stops in and around Rutherford County, but our first trip over here to the creek, so we're excited about a good one tonight. It is the Red Hawks taking on Stratford tonight, and it's going to be a big, big showdown between these two teams, again, as the Spartans and the Red Hawks get it on here tonight on your Main Street Preps Game of the Week. We're presented all season long by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and by the folks at Delta Dental of Tennessee. Back after this.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back, boys and girls. We are creeping closer toward the top of the hour. Week 2 high school football action on the Main Street Preps high school football game of the week. Once again, 0-1 Stratford at 1-0 Stewarts Creek here tonight, alongside Casey Patrick. Wade Neely saying good evening. And Casey, we teased it a moment ago. 2 different results, obviously, but it was still week 1. And some coaches, well, all coaches that feel like say this, say the biggest improvements in their team, the biggest adjustments take place from week 1 to week 2. I'll be kind of fascinated to see, win or lose for both of these teams, kind of what adjustments they do bring to the table here tonight.
Well, and one of those adjustments I'd like to see is from the Stratford offense. Last week, Anton Wilson, 7 of 14, 50% completion percentage. He had 157 yards and 2 touchdowns. That's all great, but he also had 3 interceptions. And so you want to see what type of changes they make. They only had 13 carries last week, is what I could find as far as stats. So that makes me think they weren't really able to run the ball a whole lot, had to throw the ball quite a bit. And so really interested this week to see those adjustments from that offense.
You are exactly right. Meanwhile, if you're Coach Caudill and the Stewarts Creek Red Hawks, I don't know that you necessarily, sure, there are some things you want to improve, but there's not a lot because they were grounding and they were pounding, folks, and especially Jamarcus Brown. All the big fella did last week, 36 carries, 258 yards, 4 touchdowns. Talk about a stat sheet stuffer, Casey Patrick. This is a guy that sat behind a really good rusher in Caleb Floyd last year, and all he does in kind of his real breakout party in that Week 1 win over Centennial. Again, 36 carries, 258 yards, 4 touchdowns. He's a one-man wrecking crew last Friday night.
Yeah, well, and the 258 yards and 4 touchdowns, that's don't get me wrong, that's a great thing on its own, and that's a wonderful stat line for any running back. Anybody at any level would take that. But 36 carries is what I really look at, because that means your offense is kind of leaning on that guy, and that means your coach has a lot of confidence in that guy that when he turns around, that running back's going to do what he needs to at least get him a few yards and keep them ahead of the sticks.
As we get closer toward the top of the hour, Stratford is off in the distance. It is a gorgeous night for high school football, but this is a top-notch facility. Stewarts Creek, again, these guys opening just after the 2010s, opening in 2012, and all they've done is kind of stack excellence on top of excellence. Last year was really kind of a culmination of that. As Coach Ben Caudill, as we mentioned, they win their first ever region title and now it didn't necessarily end the way that they wanted, kind of like the way our Week 1 matchup, remember, with Beach and Green Hill. Kind of some unfinished business, it feels like, for Stewarts Creek. And if they can get this win tonight, they're off to the races with a 2-0 start.
Yeah, well, and, here's the thing. When you rush for 430 yards in Week 1, that gets you going. I think you got a lot of these guys out here, whether it's your offensive line, maybe it's your backup running backs, certainly Jamarcus Brown, but you've got plenty of guys out here that are really ready to get going. They've all been really I think they all had a good time last week, and they're ready to get going this week against a pretty good Stratford team.
Yeah, and that's the interesting thing, too, is, Centennial, obviously a great team in their own right. But early in the season, we'll get into what region play looks like for Stewarts Creek in a little bit. But it is a gauntlet, folks, so buckle up. And it is going to be a season where you need to get some seasoning in these early games. So that'll be the stage being set here. Stratford is at Stewarts Creek tonight. We have our colors being presented. We will break for our national anthem. And when we come back, Casey and I will get you prepped for kickoff. Coming your way right after this here on Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage presented by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Bongo Java, come see us at the Omni Nashville.
They walk among us, but at 240 miles per hour, they become something more. They're thrill seekers, risk takers, and maybe just a little bit unhinged. Buckle up. This new era of speed, this racing revolution, it's just getting started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.
Welcome back, football fans. Main Street Prep's Thursday night game of the week. Pre-game show almost in the books. Alongside Casey Patrick, Wade Neely saying hello. Good-looking Thursday. Had a gorgeous evening last week. Maybe not quite. Maybe just that extra juice from, week one. But it is darn near similar conditions. We're enjoying this, kind of fall wave that we've got going on right now here in and across Middle Tennessee, Casey. And I know the players and I know the coaches are enjoying it as well as we get ready for week 2 tonight.
Absolutely. And, I mean, the last few weeks before last Thursday and last Friday, it had been really, really hot outside. And anybody around this area knows that. So it's nice to get these few weeks. And, I mean, just for health concerns, first of all, I mean, it's a lot better on everybody that's out here tonight. So good for them. And I don't have to do any running, so it's not really my health I'm worried about, but it feels a lot better for me, and I'm happy to sit here in this nice weather. Got the window open, got some music playing. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, we are moments away from kickoff here on Main Street Preps. No matter where you're tuned in, folks, number of different ways. A lot of folks asked after week 1, Casey, they said, hey, how can I tune in to you guys? I said, well, the good news is there's about 1 million ways. You can catch us on the Main Street Media app, which we always encourage our fans and listeners to go to. But if for some reason you don't have access to that, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on X. You can also check us out on YouTube. Really anywhere that you get your content, just search Main Street Media, and you can pull us up. But if for some reason you forget all of that, you can never forget www.mainstreetmediaradio.com. That will be your destination. So no matter which way you slice it or dice it, you got 1 million different ways to get a hold of us here tonight, partner.
Yeah, and I've already shared the live stream on Facebook. I've shared the live stream on Twitter, so I guess it's X now. So, but I'm trying to get it out there, trying to get the word out there.
You have done your due diligence as a proud supporter in Main Street land here.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to shoot a little loose footage myself and do the same as our captains are getting ready to make their way out for both teams. Stewarts Creek is going to wear black uniforms with red numerals. That's black tops and black bottoms, as well as black helmets. Stratford is the mirror opposite as they come out in all white. Not quite Stormtrooper, but it's pretty darn close. Stratford's got some good lids, and they got some good unis, as does our host team tonight here, Stewarts Creek, the Red Hawks. This is going to be a fun matchup. First ever meeting between these two programs, but there is a connection. Head coach Anthony Law for Stratford. He's already been introduced a couple times over the public address, but he was on the initial coaching staff of this Stewarts Creek team when they were founded, as we mentioned, just shortly after 2010. So a little connection there. Not a full homecoming, but a pseudo homecoming for Coach Anthony Law of the Stratford Spartans.
Yeah, and he's got to enjoy that, being able to go back to an older place where he used to be, or not an older place, but a place where he was at before, and, just running by and seeing some folks that maybe you haven't seen in a little while, saying hi to some people. Now, of course, we got about a minute and a half until the action kicks off here, and whenever we start football, it's going to be football time then. But there's a lot of things Coach Law can do, beforehand and afterhand that it is a nice reunion for him.
His bunch comes in again 0-1. Coach Law 9-15 in his 3 seasons at Stratford. But he's got some success, and he's not unfamiliar as we got our coin toss, and Stratford does win the toss, and they do elect to receive. So Stratford is going to get their mitts on the ball to start this game. Coach Anthony Law, though, don't let this fool you, folks. 29-29, you're thinking, maybe that's not that impressive of a record. That's 500, right? That was 5 seasons at Whites Creek from 2005 to 2009. But in that stretch, some of the best seasons in Whites Creek history, including a trip to the 2009 semifinals. So Coach Law with success at Whites Creek, trying to kind of duplicate that here at Stratford now.
Yeah, and he's got, of course, he's got Jackson Law, he's got Santana Frost, he's got Anton Wilson to do it. And their offense is going to come out here first. They're going to take the ball. Stewarts Creek's getting ready to come out. All the cheerleaders in the band, they're making all their rackets. So here comes Stewarts Creek out on the field. Stratford's got their offense. They're ready to go. Their players are already ready to run out here on the field and get the kickoff going.
It is going to be a dandy tonight, folks. If you thought week 1 was fun, buckle up. I think week 2 is going to be just as entertaining tonight. We are so delighted that you have joined us once again alongside Casey Patrick and our producer, Mark Rogers. Wade Neely saying hello. We will take our final timeout. When we come back, kickoff coming up next. Stratford and Stewarts Creek here on Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen, and it is time for Week 2 action here on Main Street Media Radio. Main Street Preps Game of the Week presented by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office as well as Delta Dental. Alongside Casey Patrick, Wade Neely saying good evening. Casey, we've hyped it up as much as we can. I got a little goosebumps going on. It's time for Week 2, partner, here on Main Street Preps Game of the Week coverage.
Yeah, and I think everybody's just about as ready as we are to get this thing started. And the kicker out here, he's getting ready to get us started.
Stewarts Creek again, black uniforms. That's Landon Wharf, a junior, lined up nowhere, number 19. And at 7:02, he boots us away. We are off and we are running. This will be fielded by Stratford at their own 5-yard line. Nice crease down the right sideline. Running right along the right side hash, as it were. And a good little return there for Santana Frost, the young man that you mentioned just a moment ago, getting Stratford out to around their own 30-yard line.
Yeah, and Frost was really the only running back that was able to get a few carries last week. So he's going to be kind of very important in this offense to see how everything goes. We got Jackson Law down here on the bottom of this, or I almost said screen, on the bottom of the field. Big kid, long arms. Going to be looking for another 100-yard reception night.
Here comes Stratford again. They go left to right on this opening drive. Opening play from scrimmage. Play fake. Simple pitch and catch. Hauled in. Way over there on the Stratford sideline. Good grab by Jordan Stem, a junior. But there is a marker down around the line of scrimmage. And that was around a 12-yard pickup, but let's check everything here.
Going to get him for a legal man downfield.
Casey called it. It'll be a penalty against Stratford.
Well, and Jordan Stem was wide open down there on the other side of the field. Quarterback number 12, Patterson Thacker's in instead of Anton Wilson. So it made a nice throw, but again, the flag pushing him back.
So we will go back here. First and 15 now from their own 26. Good arm, good throw, good catch. Thacker going downfield, and that is number 15, Jordan Stem. And Stem needed 15. He got about 17. Stratford approaching midfield here, fresh set of downs.
Oh, and the offense is going fast, too. They're trying to catch Stewarts Creek napping here.
1st and 10 for Stratford.
1st and 10. Play faking again, rolling to his right. Man, good-looking throw and catch yet again. That is Jackson Law. Law, we mentioned, had a massive game last week. 2 touchdowns, both of the Stratford touchdowns in that loss to Hopkinsville, Kentucky. He hauls it in, needed 10, got 11.
Yeah, and I like what they're doing. They're keeping Stewarts Creek off balance here, which is what they got to do to get the ball down the field.
1st and 15, and then 1st and 10, both converted. But on this 1st and 10, sacked. It was a little bit of a low snap, kind of off to the side, really. And again, that's Patterson Thacker, who's a sophomore. He's got the build of a starting quarterback, but he, again, did not play last week. Didn't start, at least, last week. And that sack is a 7-yard drop in the backfield. So all that momentum that Stratford had kind of built up, now they're south of their own 50-yard line. 0-0 your score, a minute and a half into this contest. Sets up 2nd and 17. Another high snap. Pressure coming off the backside, and Thacker's going to have to eat it. He is sacked, brought down with a vengeance as Ben Cunningham, the 5'10 senior. Casey, no one picked him up off the edge, and he just flat out got to the QB and laid waste to Thacker there.
Yeah, and I don't know if the right tackle, number 55 for Stratford, Kalen McAllister, I don't know if he just missed him or maybe it was a missed assignment, but Cunningham did come off that edge. But I'll tell you right now, number 55, Isaiah Hayes, on the defensive end right there, he's been a wrecker every play so far, and Stratford's going to have to do something about him to be able to get any offense going. It's about 3rd and a quarter mile here.
0-0 your score. Stratford had all the momentum in the world. 2 straight first down conversions. Now they've been sacked 2 plays in a row. Big 3rd down. Downfield. That pass nearly deflected, maybe even tipped away there by Kingston McQueen, but it's incomplete. And it'll be a punting situation here. Good stand defensively after somewhat of a shaky start by this Stewarts Creek defensive unit.
Yeah, well, in Stratford, really what they needed to do, I mean, they had that good start, like you said, and they needed to stay ahead of the change. You know, you don't have to get 10 and 15 every play, but if you can get 2 or 3, maybe even 4, you stay ahead of the change. Once you lose 7 on that sack, it really screws the rest of your drive. But I will tell you, I think Patterson Thacker made a few really nice stuff.
Low snap, and this is dangerous. Not sure we're going to get a punt away. We won't. And Thacker's back there as the punter. He's athletic. He does pick it up, and he somehow wiggles out of a couple tackles. And he gets back to the line of scrimmage, but obviously well shy of any sort of thinking about picking up the first. So disastrous on the special teams there are the Spartans, and Stewarts Creek takes over. First trip offensively here. They'll have it at the Stratford 39. 0-0 your score, 9:22 left in this opening quarter.
Well, and something interesting about that, too. That was 2, maybe even 3 kind of bad snaps there for the Stratford offense and the special teams, so something kind of keep your eyes on going through the night.
Stewarts Creek, full house backfield. They got a couple of backs, got an H-back, got a near receiver. They give to the right, and shot out of a cannon. Ooh. And the helmet goes yanking backwards. Jaden Stewart had a big hole and had a huge head of steam there. When he got about 8 yards deep, we saw his helmet just get yanked from behind. And that's one of those penalties. Not everybody in the building could call it or see it, but 99%. It was pretty obvious, and that will go against the Spartans. And all of a sudden, Stewarts Creek is rolling here. They are definitely in the red zone. Great run as is, and then you're going to tack on a penalty to boot.
Yeah, and I'm not real sure exactly who that was. I was thinking it was Marco Reed for the Spartans defense, but that may not be true. Whoever the defender was, he's just trying to make a play there. I don't think he meant to do that. Now, obviously, no meaning there to it, but he got his hand up and got it stuck in the face mask. Luckily for number 5 though, Jaden Stewart, he's no problem. He's all right.
Yeah, just kind of a accidental play. Sun beginning to set. Cotton candy sky here. Everything kind of coming up rosy thus far. But as soon as I say that, the ball pops loose. Good little tote up the middle and a late Trying to see the lineman. It was like a defensive lineman or linebacker that just got a helmet to the football there, kind of just punched it out. Stewarts Creek does recover. Very fortunate turn of events there.
Jordan Shaw did a great job of going up there and getting that ball. He had done a really good job of getting the block through the second level anyway, and then he saw that ball on the ground, was able to get it.
So it would have been a disaster. Instead, Stewarts Creek, man, they don't get in here. It was 2nd and goal from the 3.
Stratford's defense is, they're trying to bow up here near the goal line.
And you get the sense that might be the case, right? Stewarts Creek, obviously bigger school, a few more athletes maybe across the board. You know, depth may be an issue for Stratford. But in the red zone, when things get tight, maybe that's a chance for the Spartans to bow up, as you mentioned. This is a big 3rd down, 3rd and goal. Halfway through the first quarter.
Oh, yeah.
Or close to it. And then after 2 really nice stops defensively, Stewarts Creek turns and hands it off. And that's Jamarcus Brown, folks. We told you guys last week, 36 totes, 258 yards, 4 touchdowns. He had a little 2-yard carry right there, and that one was an easy surge up front for Jamarcus Brown, who goes barreling into the end zone virtually untouched. The junior has his 5th rushing touchdown, and he gives Stewarts Creek an early 6-0 lead.
Yeah, he walked in the end zone, and he could have went slower, really, if he wanted to. The Stratford defense, which we had talked good about, up until that play, they really just got blown off the line. Stewarts Creek offensive line really pushing them through.
Extra point is on the way, and the extra point is good. So Stratford with a promising drive, but forced to punt. Couldn't get the punt away, giving a short field to Stewarts Creek, and the Red Hawks make them pay. Driving 39 yards to pay dirt, and a touchdown from Jamarcus Brown has them ahead. 7-0 your score when Casey and I return right after this here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage from Stewarts Creek High School.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Back with you guys here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage alongside Casey Patrick. Wade Neely saying hello. Casey, we had a little bit of a scare on the kickoff here. Stratford has already given up 7 points. Stewarts Creek taking advantage of a short field, 39-yard play. 39-yard touchdown drive. They lead at 7-0, and all of a sudden this game just feels like Stratford's back's against the wall here.
Yeah, well, they almost fumbled that right there on that kickoff, but the refs blew the play dead a little early, but they were lucky. They had the ball anyway. They were there to recover it. 1st and 10. They go left to right on your Main Street media dials here tonight. Santana Frost out of the backfield. He's 5'9", 155 pounds listed, and he uses that frame to pop loose on the left, and Frost picking up healthy yardage out across the 50 for the first time tonight. As the Spartans, with 7:41 to go in the opening quarter, that's their 3rd first down already. There was a late marker that came in, but the official just picked it up and says wave it off. Well, Stewarts Creek had some nice penetration there on that last play, but Santana Frost made him miss easily in the backfield, and then 26 yards later, they're going to give him a first down.
1st and 10. Spartans are driving. 7-0 is your score. Out of the pistol, they turn, they hand it back off to Frost, this time running to the right. A penalty marker does come in. Frost picks up about 3 before he is greeted and seated. Kingston McQueen in on the tackle there. There was a penalty, kind of in that vicinity of holding, you would imagine.
That's what the back judge is calling right now.
It's going to be holding against Stratford.
Stratford's got to stop. They got to stop shooting themselves in the foot. I mean, this is almost a fumble, but you got the sack on the first down. You got a few penalties here. I think if you just kind of stop hurting yourself, I think you might have something for Stewarts Creek tonight.
They looked fantastic, folks. For those that just tuned in, Stratford, 1st and 15, they picked up a 17-yard completion for the first, 12-yard completion on the next play, and then they went backwards. Trying to make amends here, 1st and 20, after the penalty marker is marked off. And Frost, again, 5'9", 155 pounds. He's elusive, and he is slippery. That time they run him up the middle for the first time tonight. I don't necessarily know that's where they want him to be all night, but that was a good-looking carry, even though he only got a couple.
Well, yeah, and you got that draw, so the defense kind of gets around the pocket, and you just let it up off the middle. Got another flag here.
Also, for those that have just tuned in, interesting storyline here is Patterson Thacker. He looks the part, folks, but he did not start at QB last week for Stratford. He's a sophomore, 6'3", 225. Already shown some nice wheels, already shown a nice arm. But we have not seen Anton Wilson here thus far.
And Wilson's healthy. He's fine. He's over there on the sideline. I've seen him walking around. He's got his helmet off. He doesn't look to be too happy about the quarterback situation, but that makes sense.
2nd and 20. They'll play fake. First read not there for Thacker. He brings it down and now scrambles to his left, and he's going down. Right as he got close to the line of scrimmage there. 2nd and 20 as Brendan Peter is able to bring him down. Peter, 5'11", 231-pound sophomore, stayed with the play, flowing to his right and tackling Thacker right around the sticks for no gain at best.
Well, I know this is easier said than done, but Stratford's offense, in order for those guys to be efficient and successful tonight, they're going to have to stay kind of like on script. If Thacker has to start running for his life and get away from defensive linemen, they're going to be in serious trouble all night.
3rd and 20, and this goes over the head. The ball is still loose. Thacker just falls on it. What is that, about the 4th kind of bad snap we've seen tonight? 3 on offense now and 1 on special teams. Thacker does well to fall on it, maintaining possession. He drops right back into his punting duties here. But buckle up. This has kind of been an adventure thus far tonight. Stewarts Creek leading 7-0 and looking to get the football back.
When it looks, it looks like, I may be wrong here, but it looks like Jackson Law is the long snapper. And, of course, they do have Thacker back there to punt it. That's a good punt, or a good snap. Oh, blocked.
This is unfortunate, folks, because as Casey said, it was a fantastic snap, especially considering the first effort we saw tonight. But even though it was a great snap, Thacker had to wait 1 extra second to get the kick away, and when he did, it was partially blocked. And after the deflection, it trickles not much further beyond the line of scrimmage. It actually rolls out of bounds at around the 45. So Stewarts Creek already leading 7-0. Their first drive tonight began at Stratford's 39. This one not quite as impressive, but they'll start at the 44, looking to go up 14-0 perhaps.
On both of their drives, Stratford has made it across the 50-yard line, and then Stewarts Creek starts their next drive on the other side of the 50. I don't think I've ever seen that happen before.
Jet sweep. They're running right toward us here, and they're running toward the Stewart Creek sideline. That is a good carry. And Jaden Stewart, who we saw a couple of times on that first drive, they got him in space right there.
Well, yeah, and there really wasn't a whole lot of space, and Jaden Stewart was able to make it. He outran the edge defender there to get a few yards.
Stewarts Creek driving right to left. This sunset keeps getting prettier and prettier tonight, folks. And Stewarts Creek is trying to keep the good vibes rolling here for the hometown faithful. They play fake the jet sweep. Now they hand back off to the left. Ooh, big bruising set of contact there as Jamarcus Brown, he absorbs a vicious hit there. Joe Campbell was there to greet him, a senior DB. And that was a good little battle. And Jamarcus Brown wins that battle, though. He not only takes the contact, he falls forward. He had the first down anyway and picked up maybe an extra yard.
Jamarcus Brown looks like maybe somebody that's just a hair too short to be a perfect defensive end, and they decided to let him run the ball, and he's really good at it.
I like where you're going with that. He does have an impressive build. Again, 4 touchdowns last week in the win over Centennial. They run. Oh, good pursuit and flowing to the football there. And the ball comes loose at the end. Ball comes loose. Down by contact, however. Jaden Stewart. We saw him on the jet sweep running right to left. This time they reverse it and go left to right. And it was a good job of just flowing to the ball there.
Well, in that last run by Jamarcus Brown, I mean, it was really just like an inside split type run. And, I mean, they had a lot of eye candy, but the offensive line, this last play wasn't very good, but the offensive line been doing a good job of creating some holes.
Caesar Harris, the 4th on the tackle. Great football name, by the way. Sets up 2nd and 12 after the small loss. And Stewarts Creek's going to throw downfield. A rare throw there. That was Jerry Taylor, the senior. And Jerry Taylor was not asked to throw a lot last week. Then again, you got big Jamarcus going 36 times for nearly 260 yards. Why would you throw? But he showcases a nice arm there, too much of an arm, in fact. He overshoots his man. It'll be incomplete. 3rd and 12 upcoming.
Yeah, but I mean, I think if you're a Stewarts Creek fan or maybe even head coach out there, you're not really Coach Caldwell, of course. You're not really going to be worried too much about that incompletion because your guy got open. Quarterback just missed a little bit. That happens. He may be a little antsy tonight or whatever. It is senior night, but I think that's okay.
It's one of those you'll take it in the long run. They'll load up and throw again, or maybe not. Going to have to tuck and run, and now all of a sudden finding a little safety valve and finding first down yardage. Great job of extending the play. Jerry Taylor, the pocket breaking down. He steps up in the pocket, looks like he's going to run, but he keeps his eyes downfield, and Kingston McQueen also trickles out downfield, and that leads to about a 14, maybe 16-yard pickup for the first down. That is a back-breaking play for this Stratford defense with Stewarts Creek already up 7-0.
Well, yeah, and you play great defense just to get in the 3rd and long there, and then you've got a good defense set up on 3rd and long. And Jerry Taylor just out there making guys miss, look very Lamar Jackson-esque. Finds a guy, they get a first down, offense keeps rolling.
That was a great comp because the way he stepped up in the pocket, it was very similar, very shifty. But he also was trying to keep the play alive downfield. Speaking of keeping plays alive, not 1, not 2, but 3 different Stratford players trying to bring down Jamarcus Brown. That is a bad dude, folks. I'm here to tell you. Again, already with a short rushing touchdown. This time he goes in from 15 yards out. And Stewarts Creek, Stratford, similar script on both of their drives, offensively and defensively. They've shown a little promise. You see the high-end potential, but they haven't put it all together, and they find themselves trailing right now 13-0 with the PAT pending.
Well, and Jamarcus Brown right there, we saw earlier in the drive where he kind of just put his shoulder down and knocked some people over. But right there, he made a few people miss, had some shiftiness to him.
A little wiggle in him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I mean, we've been talking about Jaden Stewart and having some wiggle and some speed. Don't get me wrong, Jaden Stewart's got it. But Jamarcus Brown had a little bit to him there, and he didn't really even have to hit too many people that hard to get into the end zone right there.
A little change of pace there from the big fella. We see Jamarcus go in for a second rushing touchdown. It is a good start for Stewarts Creek. Stratford is trailing 14-0. Great ball game, great night for high school football. Come on back, folks. We're late in the first quarter, and Casey and I are back right after this here on Main Street Preps. Game of the Week coverage presented by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Great start for Stewarts Creek. 2 short touchdown drives. They took over at the 39 for Stratford on the opener. Took over here at the 44. Both of them have ended with touchdowns from Jamarcus Brown. This kid's 5'11", 200 pounds. Casey just said it a moment ago. You can tell he kind of craves contact. But on that last run, he said, you know what, I got a little wiggle about me too. And he's elusive for 12 yards. Made a couple of Stratford defenders miss on his way into the end zone. And now, we mentioned your back's kind of against the wall if you're Stratford. You have had 2 promising drives, both of which have gone beyond the 50, beyond midfield, and you got nothing to show for it. 2 punts that have led to 2 touchdowns.
When you just said Jamarcus Brown was 5'11", 200, I was surprised he's only 200. I thought he was a little bit wider
him
than
a little
that.
bit, right?
Yeah. You might have to check the roster after the game, make sure these guys know it.
Could have been preseason measurements.
Yeah.
You know, he's been eating his Wheaties. As I give over to right side, and we have quarterback change as Wilson does get in. You know, we don't want to speculate, but you do wonder, was that just a change of pace by design? Was that a disciplinary? We didn't get an official explanation, unfortunately, from Coach Law before the game. Thacker looked pretty good in those first 2 drives, but Anton Wilson is in at QB. He turns, hands off again. Frost is a very quick runner, getting to the line of scrimmage and beyond in the blink of an eye, but he's met quickly on that far sideline. Tough to see who brought him down.
And you know, I'm really not sure. I don't think Thacker did much to get taken off the field there, but I think they know how the offensive line needs a little bit of help there, so might have to get Anton Wilson out there just to run.
That was Daniel Johnson on that tackle. Quickly a 3rd down here, and Wilson sets down in the pocket. Little gunslinger, little sidearm sling to Law, who again had the 2 touchdowns last week, 58 yards and 39 yards. That is a much-needed first down for Stratford. They needed 10. They got about 12.
Yeah, well, they're going to need 6 here in a minute, too. So I like what I've seen out of Anton Wilson in his first throw.
Second throw, he takes some contact, still gets a pass away, and it's complete. Downfield, out across the 45, down to around the 41-yard line. Not a wounded duck. That was a good throw under duress and absorbing contact there. Completing one deep downfield, I believe, to Campbell.
Well, I got to be honest, I've been pleasantly surprised by both of these quarterbacks. Anton Wilson's been really good the first 2 throws he's thrown.
He's looked crisp. They go back to the ground. A little sweep action toward the left. There are as many as 5 Stewarts Creek Red Hawks there to greet Frost. Frost kind of gets up like, okay, guys, I get it. We don't need all 5 of you over here. Gang tackling there. A lot of them coming from the front 4 for this defense for Stewarts Creek that you know probably wants to turn in a little better effort than they displayed last week, giving up 30-plus to Centennial.
Yeah, I think that's part of it, too. Those guys are amped up to play.
2nd down. Play fake. Downfield. Oh, incomplete. Tough break there. Jackson Law, great receiver. You know, he's got some interest from the Air Force, Campbellsville up in Kentucky where his brother's playing, Maryville. But that's one you want to hide that tape right there. It hit him in the hands, and he just flat out dropped it.
Yeah, I think he wanted to get his head turned around. He was looking for 6 before he had the ball, and you got to make sure it's in your hands before you can run.
3rd and 8. Stratford converted a big 3rd down earlier. They're going to go for the bundle here. Deep downfield, a lot of hand fighting, and it's incomplete, but there is a penalty flag. There was some hand fighting there. Joshua Campbell, the receiver, and Kingston McQueen were kind of going toe-to-toe there. And we're going to check the flag.
It was a lot of back and forth, but they're going to get in on the defense.
Yeah, defensive pass interference. And 3rd and 8. It's kind of a great play call, Casey, in the sense if you catch it, obviously awesome, you score most likely. But if you don't catch it, you can get a freebie sometimes. And the hand fighting was called, and it'll be a fresh set of downs, a much-needed first down for Stratford, who now snaps this ball at the Stewarts Creek 24-yard line.
Well, you know, and you hate those calls like that, but I mean, you got to throw the flag there. It's just too much contact.
Twins in the backfield, out of the pistol. They fake to one, send one in motion. Now they snap. A little button hook here. Law maybe could have made that catch, but it was a real low throw, and he had to fall to the turf, and it goes between his hands. It'll be incomplete. Daniel Johnson in on the coverage there for Stewarts Creek. 14-0 your score. 57 seconds remaining here in this opening quarter. Alongside Casey Patrick, And our producer, Mark Rogers, Wade Neely, saying good evening. Stratford trying to put it on the scoreboard for the first time tonight. 2nd and 10. And give up the middle, nothing. Stuffed right up the middle. Good surge up front. Just winning the assignment right there at the point of contact. I think that's, that's Brendan Peter, the sophomore. That was a upperclassman level play right there. Good stop, sets up 3rd and long.
Well, and, Stratford knows they got a good running back in Santana Frost, but they're having trouble right now with the offensive line. So I think they're just running to keep the defense honest.
Huge play here. Already converted a couple of 3rd downs.
Oh, no.
Stepping up in the pocket, Wilson overthrew his man. Law was kind of running a deep drag toward the back of the end zone. And as athletic as Jackson Law is, the senior was nowhere near being able to make an attempt at that ball. So 4th down.
Calvin Johnson wasn't going to catch that ball.
Nah. You would need a pretty decent-sized step ladder to come up with that one. But it was incomplete. Didn't turn it over, so at least you keep the play and keep the drive alive. This is the biggest play of the game thus far for Stratford. 4th and 12 from the Stewarts Creek 26-yard line. There's a flag down, but they go downfield. There was a little more hand fighting deep downfield. No flag there. It'll be a hold at the point of the snap there. And that penalty will be declined, and they'll turn it over on down. So Stratford's had 3 really promising drives. 2 of them have had to end in punt, and that one ends with a turnover on down. Stewarts Creek coming up with a nice stop right there on the precipice of the red zone.
Well, there was a little bit of contact right there in the end zone, right in front of it anyway. I was afraid they were going to throw the flag, but I'm glad they didn't on that one. Stewarts Creek going to get back out here at the 26-yard line. I'm actually excited to see what a full drive is going to look like for these guys. They might try something different now.
Stewarts Creek takes over. This is by far their worst field position from their own 26. First drives tonight have come inside of Stratford territory. Rolling, firing downfield. Taylor, in and out of the hands. Would have been a very acrobatic catch for Dallas Johnson, the junior, who went full extension, and he would have touched down the toes right there in bounds, but he just couldn't haul it in, incomplete.
Well, and, honestly, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if it's exactly the same play, but it was the same route and the same concept from the quarterback on the play that he missed down here to Dallas Johnson, I believe is his name.
Yep.
Yeah, Dallas Johnson. Down here in the corner, it was the same play, same kind of route. But they're getting closer on that play. They're going to hit that play before the night's over with.
Out of the pistol here. They're looking to throw in the flat, and now Taylor's going to step up and run. He's got some space. Out across the 30. Out near the 35. He needs the 36 for the first down. He's going to be just shy of that. Good pocket presence there. We've seen it a couple times tonight from Taylor, and that time he stepped up and he took off and ran to the tune of about 9 yards.
What do you want to bet this is a handoff to Marcus Brown up the middle?
Well, we're going to have a break to mull it over, but if I was a betting man, Casey Patrick, I would like that because Stewarts Creek has got everything kind of working in their playbook right now, but they do need to pick up a 3rd and short when we begin the second quarter. Into the first. It's been a fun one, folks. Stewarts Creek with 2 touchdowns, and they lead at 14-0. Casey and I are back right after this on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage here in Rutherford County.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Second quarter just underway here on Main Street Preps. Game of the Week coverage. Handoff up the middle. Stewarts Creek needed a yard. Got 10. got 15 out across midfield. Casey teased it right before we went to the break. You had virtually everything in the playbook at your disposal on 3rd and short. And Jamarcus Brown busting loose. He's already got 2 touchdowns tonight, and he's out across midfield. Good start to the second quarter here for the Red Hawks.
Well, and I love I formation football with a tight end and a fullback and just going right up the middle. And perfect execution by the offensive line, the fullback, everybody creating that hole. Jamarcus Brown just hitting it.
14-0 your score. Brown has scored twice, as I mentioned. 1 from 2 yards out, 1 from 12. 1st and 10. We see Taylor with tons of time, and now he steps up in the pocket and takes off again. Stratford with great coverage downfield. Joe Campbell finally brings him down. There's someone in the defensive front for Stratford that is hobbled at the end of that play. That is number 23, Marco Reed. But there's a penalty. I didn't see the marker, but there's a procedure penalty against the Red Hawks here. So Stratford catches a huge break, Casey, because tons of time for Taylor to throw, and instead he just says, you know what, I'm going to take off and run for about 16 yards, but it's coming back on the penalty.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure that the penalty is going to matter much because, I mean, even when they do start to get penetration, Jerry Taylor just makes them miss, runs past them, goes and gets – yeah, I mean, they're all running right past him. They're losing contain, and he goes right past them, right up the middle. And, I mean, he got 15 right there. They're back 15 again. It looks like they're going to go the I formation again, though, here.
1st and 15. They'll play fake, a little bootleg of sorts here. And that pass is caught downfield. And out across the 35, and now finally tucked out of bounds at around the 30. That's R.C. Davis, the junior. Davis, 6 foot, 166 pounds. He hauls it in for the first down.
R.C. Davis, that sounds like something out of the 70s, don't it?
That's a throwback right there, partner.
That's an old name. I like it.
First time we've called his name, and he did a great job of kind of just slipping out into open space there. The bootleg with Taylor.
Well, I don't blame Stratford because they sold out on the run there. It was a play action.
Stewarts Creek and Coach Caldwell's got everything kind of cooking offensively here right now. Everything is available to them. And on 1st and 10, there's a little surge up front for Stratford. Spartans still battling here. That's Emmanuel Brown up front. McKnight maybe got a yard, but Brown kind of tripped him up. 10:50 to go till halftime. Stewarts Creek leading this game 14-0. And he actually picked up 2 yards, so 2nd and 8 upcoming.
Well, Jamarcus Brown's down here on the sideline. He looks to be fine, but they got a carry there for Jaden McKnight, who, I mean, he's really lucky he was able to get 2 because nobody blocked the guy off the edge there.
Stewarts Creek, 10 seconds on the play clock. Now they shift a couple men in motion and run a simple toss to the right and nearly zigging back to the left. That is a great little carry there for McKnight. A change of pace back, if you will, and a simple toss to the right. McKnight just found a big hole on the right side, and he nearly popped it back to the left for the score, but he's finally brought down at the 6-yard line.
Yeah, I really feel like right now Stewarts Creek could probably do just about whatever they wanted on offense. They're able to move the ball whichever way they want it. They haven't really thrown it very efficiently yet, but of course, they did have that one pass.
Toss play again to the right. Not as much motion, but it may not matter. No, it won't. Blocked beautifully. There is a hanky on the ground, however. But as it stands right now, a 6-yard rushing touchdown for McKnight on the toss, but it's coming back. Holding. Tough break there for Stewarts Creek. McKnight's going to be looking around at the lineman saying, hey, which one of you was it?
Yeah, and I feel bad for McKnight because, this is the first drive he gets out there for, and they're going to take his touchdown from him. But, again, if I were a betting man, I do believe we've got an opportunity later here for him to I think he's going to get his chance.
Stewarts Creek leading this game 14-0. They scored on touchdown drives from 39 and 44 yards. This would be their lengthiest. Drive began at the 26, their own 26. Penalty brings it back to the 12. This time they run a boot toward the weak side, and Taylor finds space, takes a blow at the 2, stays on his feet. He's still on his feet and into the end zone. They cannot bring this young man down. Jerry Taylor takes a vicious shot at around the 2, and he spins out of danger and into the end zone. A great touchdown drive capped on a 12-yard touchdown for the senior QB, Jerry Taylor. What a run, what a drive.
Well, I thought Taylor had he had one passing option, which I really didn't like at the top of the end zone there, back in the corner. But he had another receiving option that was further back over here, number 45, Cameron Moore. I thought he had an easy touchdown right there, and he pulled it down, and I started shaking my head. I thought it was a bad decision. Then, he just makes everybody miss. So it may have been a bad decision if I was the quarterback, but I'm not that good. So good play by Taylor there. He's been very, very impressive. But it's already a 21-0 lead here, and it's still early in the second quarter.
Yeah, this has been a great start to this game, to say the least, for Stewarts Creek, and it's been a frustrating night for Stratford. They have shown some real promise on offense. They've shown some signs of life on defense, but they trail right now 21-0. Casey and I will take a quick timeout. Approaching midway mark of quarter number 2, we're brought to you all season long by our friends at Delta Dental.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Alongside Casey Patrick, Wayne Neely saying hello. Our producer tonight, Mark Rogers. Been a great start to this game for Stewarts Creek. Hard-fought contest in week 1, winning over Centennial. And, wow, flown to the football here. They pooch kick it. And before we can really even describe the return, Stewarts Creek is flowing to the football on defense and now special teams, and Stratford is backed up. This is not a team that's certainly incapable. We've seen the flashes, Stratford that is, offensively, of what they can do. But being backed up around your own 18-yard line, never really a great thing. They've got a long way to go, and they trail 21-0.
Yeah, and Wilson's back out at quarterback, which I liked what I saw from him. Patterson Thacker was good while he was out there, but Wilson's back out.
As we fire one downfield, and that one comes up.
Wilson pass intended.
They give him a little more yardage than I thought. Thought he only got 2 or 3, but they keep rolling the sticks there. About a 5-yard haul downfield. Stewarts Creek's up 21-0. Stratford out of the gun basically now. Firing downfield, nearly intercepted. It was initially to Law. Too hot for him to handle, and on the ricochet, a DB got his fingertips to it, nearly hauled it in. It's quickly third down. This is the second straight drive, Casey, now that we've seen Stratford immediately in a third down to begin.
Well, and I'm going to tell you right now, somebody else that's been impressive, I've talked about it a few times, Brendan Peter has been in the Stratford offensive line. He's been in their face all night long.
Well, when I heard the PA announcer refer to him as the big man earlier, you don't just get that title for nothing. Wilson steps up in the pocket, and he is going down. Number 11, Michael Colquitt, first time we've called his name tonight. He's in on the sack. Casey's got Peter. He was in the neighborhood. I don't know if he'll get the official credit, but he was lurking out there. And it's fourth down, and Stratford is going to be forced to punt. It is disastrous start to the game, and this is by far Stratford's worst drive tonight. They're going to punt, and they're going to probably give this ball back to Stewarts Creek with about 8 minutes left till halftime, trailing 21-0.
Well, with the snap problems you've been having, it's 4th and 4. I think you stay out there with your quarterback and just roll the dice.
They do get a snap away. This is the quote-unquote best kick. Oh, yeah, and a tough break there for Stratford. It took a beautiful roll, but it was angled so close to the sideline. They only got about 3 yards of skip there. Not the greatest snap. They've had 2 kicks blocked. One was a botch snap, and we saw Thacker just had to run for the turnover on downs, as it were.
When I was worried that one, when Thacker got that punt off, I was worried that one was not very good. But like you said, that bounce saved him a little bit.
I will say this. We talked about Coach Anthony Law and what he has done. He's done some great things at both Whites Creek, also coached in Indiana. He's a Gary, Indiana native. How about this, by the way? Former Tennessee State baseball. Yes, baseball standout back in the day. He's a great coach. And I've called some Stratford games in a previous life covering Giles County. Some of these snap problems, they've kind of been a recurring theme no matter who the coach is. It can be a challenge. And Stratford has really got to be super frustrated, Casey, because you trail 21-0. And if a few plays go this way or that way, you could be talking about a tie game, or maybe even you guys are in the lead at this point.
And really, maybe even just a few penalties. You know, if you just take a few penalties away, you at least have a few points on the board. Maybe it is a much tighter game.
A little trickeration here. Stratford had it scouted well.
Marco Reed went flying into the offensive backfield there to make a great tackle.
They faked to the right. Kind of a little mini reverse, we'll call it, and a little mini end around out of the pistol. One of the few real miscues. Stewarts Creek and Coach Calder will tell you they've not played a perfect game by any means. They've had a couple penalties. We saw one even take points off the board briefly. But offensively, they've executed pretty well tonight, except for that play. They go backwards 5 yards. 2nd and 15. Play fake for Taylor, who hoists one, and a little wheel route out of the backfield, wide open. And running. Where you at, my old broadcast colleague, Chris Bledsoe? I mentioned it last week. I'll mention it this week. He was wide open as a gate right there, hauling in and cutting up field for a massive first down. There's a very late penalty. It's going to be a dead ball foul. And the question is it a celebration or taunting kind of penalty against Stewarts Creek? That's kind of what the body language indicates. It was on that far sideline, tough for us to see. Certainly we couldn't hear. And I feel bad, folks. I just mentioned they hadn't played a perfect game. They've had a few miscues here, miscues there. So it is an unsportsmanlike against Stewarts Creek. Stratford's going to be at James Lawson next Friday night. Should be a fun little showdown there. They got walloped in that matchup last year, falling 48-6. Stewarts Creek, meanwhile, they have a mammoth showdown. We will talk more about that in a second, but they're hosting Siegel next Friday night. Give up the middle. Again, it was a dead ball penalty, so the first down stands, but they do mark it back. And a little give up the middle.
I believe they called that penalty on Jaden Stewart, and he made his way over to the sideline, and I don't see him now, but he wasn't too interested in speaking with anybody when he got over here.
And those are the types of plays we mentioned. Stewarts Creek, you win your first region championship last year. You go a couple rounds deep in the playoffs. You run into Ravenwood. Those are the types of things you can't have happen deep in the postseason. Here's a little toss on an end around. I love some of the misdirection that we've seen tonight. And even though this play only yields a couple, this offense is really humming right now. And they have to account every which way, and especially, obviously, where the ball is going.
When it starts with the simple things, because when your offensive line can block as well as Stewarts Creek has tonight, and Jamarcus Brown is as hard to tackle in the middle as he is, it allows you to do a lot of whatever else you want on the outside. You can move guys around, move the ball around, try a few different things. And, the fact that they've got a 21-point lead here in the second quarter, I think Coach Caldwell's he might use that as an opportunity to try some new things too.
You mentioned it. When you got a guy in the backfield like Jamarcus Brown, and this is not Brown, but this is a hefty back to say the least. How about this? Rumbling downfield. That's Sam Bello, 5'9", 225-pound fullback, like a runaway milk truck downfield, folks. He picks up the first. He was still upright running downfield, but he was looking for contact, picked up about 18 yards.
I was going to say he runs with those shoulders back, don't he? But he's pretty quick. I expected he's quicker than I expected. He gets him down there inside the red zone.
Saw Bello get some love on the local coaches show. Coach Caudill was talking with local radio here this week, and he mentioned him. He said, yeah, Brown had a great game, but don't be surprised if this guy gets some real run for us by the end of the season. That was a good tote on 1st and 10. Toss to the right. This play was very effective in the red zone last drive. And Jamarcus Brown kind of just tap dances his way and picks up 5 or 6 yards. That toss play to the right, Stewarts Creek is blocking well, but Stratford is just not flowing to the ball for some reason on that play design.
Well, and that's the funny part. That's what I was going to say. Stratford, they seem to get a little bit of penetration right there, but then, I mean, Jamarcus Brown just makes a miss, and he ends up getting 8. He got 8 on that carry, which is crazy because he's just making guys miss. McKnight's back in the game at running back now.
Stewarts Creek has got a number of options. They got a number of great players. They got a 21-0 lead, and they're looking for more. 2nd and 2 from around the 9-yard line. Ooh, a nice cutback. A second cut. A third might get him into the end zone. No, just shy. Tough break right there for Jaden McKnight. Very shifty out of the backfield. That first little hezzy right there got him ample yardage. He picks up about 8, and he's finally brought down at the 1-yard line. Be 1st and goal coming up for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, and his pads are a little bit lower to the ground than Bellows were, but either way, I mean, they got Bello in at fullback or up back, if you want to call him that. McKnight's at the back, and then we're going to get ourselves a timeout here.
Timeout, Stratford.
Stratford's going to take a timeout. We're going to stay right here. 4:16 to go till halftime. Casey, I mentioned it earlier. The region championship last year, impressive. First in the history for this Red Hawk program.
Thank you so much.
Just when you thought you could kind of celebrate and rest, realignment won't be easy. They move into Region 3, and everybody likes to kind of tout their region as maybe one of the tougher regions. I don't know that you'll find top to bottom a tougher region than Region 3 in 6A football this year. This is a murderer's row. All of your Rutherford County schools are in here. We mentioned they'll have the game next week versus Siegel. You got Rockvale, Riverdale, Laverne, Blackman. Later in the year, you got a one-off home game versus Knox Webb, your only other non-region game. But then you close with at Oakland and at Smyrna. It is a murderer's row for all these teams in this new Region 3 here in 6A football.
Yeah, my goodness. This is the first time I've actually been able to look at their schedule. And that is, like you said, murderer's row right there. A lot of – and here's the thing. I mean, you look at some of these names, and, of course, Oakland jumps out, and they all jump out at you. But – they're all good. Even with the top-tier teams, they're really good, but they're all good.
Out of the timeout, 1st and goal from the 2. Here's a give. Yeah, end zone. There was just a massive humanity that just kind of converged. But Sam Bello just high-stepping, as Casey kind of called it earlier. He gets a little lower pad level on this, and he needed it. Because, again, about 8 people all converged right there above the center. And Bello just kind of bulldozes his way in, a 2-yard rushing score. And Stewarts Creek, man, they've looked good offensively here tonight. They lead this game now 27-0 with 4:09 to play till halftime.
Well, that's twice now that McKnight's got right down there to the end zone and wasn't able to taste the pay dirt. But I think, we still do have plenty of game to go. McKnight's going to get his chance.
Yeah, there will be some more carries coming. Ain't no doubt about that as we continue to roll on. We will continue to roll on. 28-0 after the PAT, up and through. 4:09 till halftime. Casey and I are back right after this. Stewarts Creek playing well here on Thursday night. Game of the Week presented by our folks at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Coming up at halftime, Casey and I will break things down from what has been a very impressive performance for Stewarts Creek. They lead this game 28-0. 2 touchdowns in the first half to get us started from Jamarcus Brown. Quarterback Jerry Taylor goes in for 1, and then just now Sam Bello rumbles in. And Stewarts Creek, another impressive tackle on special teams there. As Hudson Turner, that's a sophomore Turner, 5'10", 156 pounds, just staying in his lane, making good things happen. And Stratford is really up against it.
Yeah, it's already a 28-0 game, and I'm really thinking, if Stratford wants to stay in this game, they're going to need to go down here and score on this drive. Ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
4:04 to play here in the second quarter. Drive beginning at their own 20. And dangerous play thrown in the backfield, a little swing pass, a little wide receiver screen, I suppose. And that was bobbled. Would have been a lateral. It is hauled in by Campbell, but he is immediately met and dropped. That play was blown up from the jump. Campbell had nowhere to go. Flying to the football there. Amari Bledsoe in on the stop.
Well, and that was Xavion Edwards also in on the play, too. And he's back here playing safety, and he went down there and made that play in their backfield.
Pocket breaking down. Wilson somehow gets a throwaway, and that is a big throw because even though it was incomplete, it was intended for Jordan Stem, and he didn't have much of a shot to make that grab. It was kind of a low throw under duress, but by getting it away, the defender was draped all over Stem, and we will at least have a penalty here. And that's kind of been, unfortunately, in these last two drives in particular, the only real offense that we've seen from Stratford. After two really promising drives to start the night that ended in punts, they've kind of fizzled here toward the end of this first half. They trail 28-0, and that will make it a very manageable down and distance here as they'll reset the chains just about 3 yards shy of the sticks. 2nd and 3.
Well, Stewarts Creek may need some help down here on this defense. You're losing a lot of your outside leverage.
They look a little flustered. Blitz coming. Stepping up. Stratford gets lucky. They give up the middle, and they just missed the blitzer. Santana Frost gets upfield, and he needed 2.5, and he got 3. Maybe he got 2 3/4, we'll call it. And it's a first down. Stratford wants to bleed clock. Obviously, you'd like to score, but you just don't want to give the ball back to Stewarts Creek. They nearly do. A muffed exchange there on the handoff. Frost goes down for a loss of 1 after a busted play, but there are also 2 penalty flags down. Kind of in that area of holding, but let's check the markers.
And Frost has come up limping after that last tackle as well.
It's going to be holding against Stratford.
Casey, this Stratford team, this is a maddening situation. First of all, you're playing a really good Stewarts Creek squad. Let's set the stage there. But then also, you have shown flashes of big playability. You've shown even some flashes of driving the football consistently, but you haven't put it all together. And that's why they trail 28-0. This is a dangerous situation. The holding makes it 1st and 25. And now the ball does hit the ground after a botched quarterback running back handoff a moment ago. This one is even worse. It does hit the ground, but luckily the Spartans fall on it.
Well, Stratford's got all kinds of talent. You got a lot of kids out here that can really play football, and they're just not doing the simplest stuff correct. And this is going to be something that I know we talked earlier, from week 1 to week 2, you see your biggest jump in the team. But Stratford's got a real chance to be a good team. I think they got a lot of talent, but they got to fix some of the issues that they're having out here.
Really struggling right now. 28-0 your score. We got another penalty.
Flag on the play.
Right at the line of scrimmage, they blow this play dead. Casey maybe pointing in a direction of encroachment.
Yeah, they threw it on the defensive side of the line of scrimmage.
Penalty against the Creek outside.
I never saw it.
We play him down.
That food back there smells good. It's killing me.
Hey, I was just getting ready to say, Casey, they got to get rid of this food here. This is too enticing while we're trying to broadcast here. But fantastic service. We really expected nothing less from Stewarts Creek, but, man, they really rolled out the red carpet for us tonight. It is a gorgeous place to watch a game. Nearly intercepted. Rolling to his right. Wilson wishes he could have that one back. He's a lucky boy that one was not intercepted. Jumping right in front of the football as Xavion Edwards, 5'11", 170-pound junior. If he catches that, he's off to the races for a pick 6.
Oh, yeah, nothing but green grass in front of him. But Anton Wilson, that's something that he's going to learn. He's a young kid, but He's going to figure it out. He is a junior, but he's going to figure that out as he gets a little bit older. You got to throw that ball as the receiver's coming out of his break. You can't wait for him to be open. You got to throw him open.
This is a massive play. 3rd and 20. Stratford just needs to bleed clock here. They throw downfield. Caught! And that's plenty of first down yardage, and now blocked well downfield. Foot race at the 20, 15, 10, 5. End zone. I mentioned it a moment ago. The big play ability is there. And Nashawn Holbert, a 5'8", 160-pound wideout whose name we've not even called tonight, he settles down about 20 yards downfield, and Wilson throws a BB to him, and then he does the rest, racing from about the 40 into the end zone. Stratford is on the board, folks. 28-6 is your score with 1:45 to play here in the first half.
Man, that was a heck of a play by the quarterback, Anton Wilson. But then Nashawn Holbert, he just catches the ball. I mean, all he did was sit down about 20 yards up the field, just sat down, made one guy miss, outran the rest of the defense.
Shaky snap blocked. Extra point is blocked.
Point after is no good.
And, I was curious if Stratford, and we'll stay here through this timeout with 1:45 to go till halftime. I was curious if Stratford maybe just doesn't line up and go for 2. And if there are future scores, I don't want to go too far into my crystal ball, Casey, but I feel like we might have our answer right there. They have had snap issues and special team issues all night.
Yeah, I don't believe. Honestly, here's the thing. I'm not going to tell Coach Law what to do or nothing, but if you're in this type of situation, other than obvious situations, I don't really think you send the kicker or punter out there for anything anymore, really. So you're going to have to claw and fight your way back into this game if that's what you think you want to do. If you're Stratford and you think you want to play in this football game, you're going to have to claw and fight back into it. Mm-hmm. And you can't allow yourself any more of these really bad snaps on these long punts and what else. So you may just have to get rid of that, take that out of the game plan.
2 ways to look at that, though. Number one, yes, if you want to go about it that way in terms of this game here tonight. Or the other way, hey, we're going to need to get those dialed in for later in the year. I could make an argument either way, but they have definitely got some issues with their special teams play. But the talent on full display, a BB of a throw downfield again, as Wilson, who threw 2 touchdowns last week, 58 and 39 in length, he uncorks one there, and off to the races was Nashawn Holbert. And I do want to point out, that was a massive play because also Stewarts Creek was going to get the football back with a couple of timeouts, chance to maybe make something happen before half. We could have been talking about, a running clock to begin the third quarter. The only bad part is Stratford does have to kick it away to begin the second half. And they lined up for what appeared to be an onside kick before a timeout has been called.
Well, yeah, I'm not real sure what's going on, but Nashawn Holbert, I mean, that was a really nice play by him. But there's, man, you look over at that sideline, they've got 10, 11 guys that could make a play like that, and all they really, honest to God, what they have to work on is just getting those little things under where you can do it correctly, most of the time. But Anton Wilson was able to get away from the pressure right there. You got to work with your offensive line, maybe get him a little bit more time. But you see the talent, you see the potential. You just got to get a few of the things going so you don't step on your own feet.
Also, Arrow Sports Media is here.
Appreciate all of our folks here at Stewarts Creek taking care of us tonight. And Casey, we want everybody to tune in to Main Street Media, but you want to talk about a top-notch production. Their student media setup here. You and I are tech nerds. We could have a field day playing with some of this equipment here. They have an outstanding setup. You can check all their stuff out online on socials, on YouTube, etc. Download the Stewarts Creek app we heard earlier. I mean, they really got it going on. It just also so happens to be that their football team's pretty good. They're up 28-6 as that kickoff sails into the end zone. Thought we might get an onside attempt there, and instead Stratford boots it deep.
Yeah, well, and I'm kind of interested this drive see what Jerry Taylor does with this offense. I mean, they might be able to run it and get down the field, but I think they're going to have to put the ball in the air a little bit here, so might see a little bit more creativity out of this Red Hawks offense.
When we saw a similar situation last week, Casey, with Beach, and Green Hill. It's still so early in the season, and it is a long season, obviously. Yeah, you want to get caught up and you want to win this game tonight. You'll never admit this, I don't think, if you're Coach Caudill, but maybe, a chance to have a coachable moment right there with your defense and a chance, depending on how you call this drive, for a little 2-minute action as Taylor is going to pump fake.
Oh, no.
And that is intercepted. Oh, my. A real mistake. A real mistake from Taylor. As the receiver kind of had stopped, Taylor thought he was going to float and continue running the route, and that just landed right in the hands, I believe, of Matthew Brown, the DB. That is the easiest interception you will ever see. Brown just camped out between the hashes at the 35, and he had to wait about 2 seconds for the ball to come to him. There's a very late penalty that came in. And if that's against Stratford, that's going to be a killer, but it's against Stewarts Creek. Oh, man. Tough break.
Spartans trying to claw and fight back into this game, ain't they?
Against Stewarts Creek, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty.
I did not see what happened, but number 70, let's see, Isaiah Thomas for Stratford, he was involved with a few players from Stewarts Creek after the game, or after the play, and I'm not real sure what happened, but the referee saw it.
So now we don't all the way have a game again, but we're pretty close. We're on the edge of getting back into a brand-new game here. Stratford's got the ball at the Whites Creek 15-yard line, driving right to left. And Wilson out of the pistol, kind of a little option look there, or zone read, I guess, if you will. He calls his own number, and he picks up a couple.
Well, and really what this does, if you're Stratford, if you can get in the end zone here, I mean, you really start to believe you can win this game. And I think there for a few plays or maybe a few minutes, I don't know if they felt that way. And Stewarts Creek has kind of give them that opportunity to feel like they can get back in this game.
It was 3rd and 20 a moment ago, trailing 28-0, and giving the ball back to Stewarts Creek. But instead they score, and now they have the ball again. And Wilson going deep, end zone, caught, falling down. Kind of seated and waiting for the ball to arrive as Nashawn Holbert. We've only called his name twice tonight, and both times we've mentioned him, it's been for touchdowns. Holbert, a little bit of a flag route there in the left corner of the end zone. And he kind of just sits down. The end zone spells out Stewarts Creek. He sits in the S over there in the far left corner, hauls in the touchdown. And it's 28-12, 50 seconds to go till halftime.
Well, and I think they were going to go for 2, but they took a timeout to get lined up. But they had another guy that was kind of short of the end zone there. I didn't get a number. I'm not sure who it was, but the Stewarts Creek defense paid just a little bit too much attention to him, which you have to. You got to guard your guy. But it opened that hole in the back just a little bit. And like you said, Nashawn Holbert, we've only mentioned him twice, but he knows when to be mentioned.
Big-time players, big-time plays, something along those lines. He has played very well tonight. And, yeah, and if you're Stratford, this is a big 2-point conversion. You can kind of get back on schedule, so to speak. And even though you have played really poorly at times, we've talked on a number of occasions, the promise for Stratford has been there all night, and we've seen the promise pay off. Using an interception to give themselves a short field, and they cash in on a passing touchdown. 2 TDs tonight for Wilson, your QB. They send a man in motion. 2-point attempt upcoming. Wilson on a designed keeper. He needs a surge, needs a block. Did he get it? No! Man, he was about a nose of the football away. And before he could square level and extend that football into the 2-point attempt there, he was denied at the goal line. That is a massive stand right there. It may seem insignificant, but depending on how this game plays out, that is a big play. 28-12 remains the score, 40 ticks until halftime.
Well, and if you get that 2-point play there, then if you get another 2-point play and then another touchdown, you could potentially take the lead. So now and you just kind of alluded to it there, but now if Stratford was able to score 2 touchdowns, they'd be able to score two 2-point conversions, and they would just be tied. So Every little point means a little bit here, and it makes you think about the bad snaps. You go back to the blocked field goal, blocked extra point, and all this other stuff. It's the stuff we bring up. It is important. The small stuff, you got to do it right.
Stratford lined up for an onside kick after their last touchdown and then called a timeout, booted it deep. This time they line up and just boot it deep. That's a good-looking kick into the end zone. That's Jack Masterson. And Masterson, you see that, Casey, over there on the sideline? He's getting ready to jump and celebrate with his coach, and both of them kind of collided. Not one for the highlight reel in terms of celebrations, but it was a good kick for Masterson. Again, 5'10", 160 pounds. That's a freshman kicker.
Kickers, man, they're always fun. And special team coach, he probably was a kicker back in the day too. So he's just happy to be jumping around. He knows his guy had an excellent kick right there, so he's happy for him.
Let's see what happens here. Now all of a sudden, Stewarts Creek's thinking, hey, let's just get to halftime. But Taylor on a little bit of a bootleg here. Thought about going downfield after turning it over on a ill-advised pass that was intercepted. Taylor looked downfield briefly and then said, nope, I'm tucking it and running it. And he is ushered out of bounds at around the 27-yard line. It'll be second and short. Stewarts Creek don't know much about their kicking game. You maybe could think about wiggling into field goal range, but you might also, again, just want to get to halftime after the 14 or 12 unanswered points. But there you go back to that wheel route, and it's open again. Hauled in down the left sideline. Hauled in on a hop by Jaden Stewart. Second time tonight we've seen Stewart slip loose on the wheel, and now you're not thinking field goal. You are in touchdown territory here. Pushed out of bounds at the Stratford 27, and that's a disaster for the Spartans.
Yeah, well, I really like the way Jerry Taylor plays quarterback. He's been very poised, very under control. He's been pretty accurate for the most part. He did miss a few of those corner throws, but that one was on the money. And I know he had the one interception that was really bad, but other than that, he's looked very, very comfortable in the pocket.
And it's easy to say after these two plays, but I like what I've seen from Coach Calder. He said, we want to restore that momentum we have. We're not just going to take it to halftime. Taylor, though, having to improvise. Looking downfield, his first route there was for Dallas Johnson. And after he was covered up, he just throws it out of bounds. And there is a penalty marker. Let's check and see who that's on. I don't know that we'll get to call his name a ton tonight, but how about big number 77? Little lineman and lineman love there, 77 for Stratford. That's big Mabry Badger, 5'9", 290.
I believe
5'9", 290. And
he's taller than 5'9". Whoever did the roster,
his shoulder pads got hung up a little bit there, and he was getting a little love from Josiah Hall, one of the standout linemen helping linemen right there, as it were.
Somebody's pranking him on the roster. He's at least 5'10". I go to bat for him.
Okay, we got a Mabry Badger fan amongst us here. I like him too. He's fun to watch. This is a big play. 1st and 15. Hall will throw toward the sideline, dropping to a knee, and yes, knee did hit the ground.
Taylor's pass completed to
and so it's complete for about 5 yards back to the original line of scrimmage, but the completion is going to force Stewarts Creek to burn a timeout.
Yeah, when you drop that knee to make the catch right there, and number one, Kingston McQueen just trying to make a catch and really wasn't thinking about it. You see it happen a lot. Guys just kind of drop down to the ground to catch it. Their knee hits the ground. You're down right there. Can't do nothing else.
One of those situations where, and you can't think like this in real time, but one of those situations where you're better off maybe not catching the ball like you kind of were referencing there. Stewarts Creek, if you're just tuning in, they looked fantastic for the first quarter and a half of this game. They were rolling, and it was 3rd and 20. Stratford is trailing 28-0, and out of nowhere, they uncork a 60-plus yard bomb downfield. Wilson to Holbert makes it 28-6. They force a quick interception, and then Wilson to Holbert again from around 25 yards out. And we still got a game on our hands, 28-12. Stewarts Creek's in position, though. 2nd and 11 from the Stratford 28. There's 10.5 seconds till halftime. They send a slot man in motion, left to right. Pocket breaking down. There goes Taylor, and he is sacked. And that is a massive play in the grand scheme of this first half. just sticking a club out right there and bringing him down was Keon McAllister. And that could be, and luckily Stewarts Creek had a timeout remaining, because if McAllister made that with no timeouts, that ends the half. That was a mammoth play right there, just sticking that big mitt and tripping up the QB.
Well, and that's what I was talking about with that knee. You know, if you can get that clock running, you ain't got timeouts, you make things happen. But Stewarts Creek, like you said, they did have a timeout. Got an opportunity here. I'm interested to see. I still see the offense out there for the most part, but if we've got an opportunity for a field goal, I mean, you're looking at almost, like a 49, 48-yard field goal here. So, yeah, but it's going to be the offense.
You know, and with 5.7, again, I don't know how comfortable Coach Caldwell is with your kicking situation. You could maybe throw the hottest sideline route you've ever seen and pick up a couple cheap yards. But you might be better off just going for the end zone. This is a big play. 3rd and 14. Stewarts Creek trying to pad its lead. They're up 28-12 from their 31 of Stratford. Taylor's going to roll to his right. Just got to throw it to the end zone. Instead, he goes shallow on the route, and it is caught. That's our guy, R.C. Davis. He makes the grab. He picks up about 7 or 8 yards, but they are inconsequential. It was shy of the first down, but also it bled out the final 5 seconds. And that's one where if you're Taylor, hard to think about it in that moment. You just got to kind of throw it toward the end zone, just see what happens. But at the end of the day, 28-12, you were up 28-0. You had massive control of this game. Doesn't feel like Stratford's got all the way back in it just yet, but, man, they are knocking on the door. And suddenly, Casey, we go from having a potential running clock to start the second half to all of a sudden a real football game on our hands here, 2-score ball game.
Yeah, and there's a lot to be said about, just the mentality of the difference in the last few minutes there. Stewarts Creek they had all the momentum. They had everything going their way, 28-0. And then, honestly, and that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, it makes me think Stratford maybe thought, let's just get this game over with. We don't really have nothing for these guys, whatever. But then Nashawn Holbert makes a heck of a play. Anton Wilson catches him for that long pass. They get the turnover. They're able to find the end zone again. So if Stratford comes out in this second half and they believe they can win the football game, that's really what those last few minutes did for those guys, and that's going to be the main difference.
And we haven't really seen that twinkle in Stratford's eye since maybe the second drive of the game. And, again, they had some real promise on their first 2 drives. As Casey pointed out, getting across the 50. Don't see this very often. They got beyond midfield, but by the time the drive ended, Stewarts Creek had the ball in their territory. 2 bad punt situations, but they had some punch in their offense, and then kind of things fizzled. And we saw Stewarts Creek with a devastating ground and pound offense in the opening stages of the first half. They open up a 28-0 lead, but in the blink of an eye, it's 28-12. And as we hit the break here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage, we suddenly got a new game on our hands. It's going to be an interesting second half coming your way in just a matter of moments. Casey and I are going to kick it out to an extended timeout. When we come back, we will break down more of what we saw in the first half. We'll swing it around the mid-state with some scores of interest. We might even dip our toes into the water of week 1 of college football. Got a slew of games to update you guys on when we come back. So stick around, folks. 28-12 is your score. The host, Stewarts Creek Red Hawks, are leading Stratford Spartans trailing 28-12 when we come back after this on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage here in Rutherford County.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
I'm Brikenna at the Nashville Omni Hotel. Come see us at 5 and 10.
They walk among us, but at 240 miles per hour, they become something more. They're thrill seekers, risk takers, and maybe just a little bit unhinged. Buckle up. This new era of speed, this racing revolution, it's just getting started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
What are you doing out there?
Come on!
I saw you at the game the other night. Yeah, you. Up there getting mad, acting like we're all out there making $1 million a game. Well, let me be real with you. This isn't the pros. It's school sports, and it's a game, our game. So please, let us play.
School sports fans, remember, when you cheer for your team, make noise for the right reasons. This message presented by the NFHS and the NIAAA.
And all student athletes in Tennessee.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
Hi, I'm Bella, your local barista at Bongo Java. Come see us at the Omni Nashville.
They walk among us, but at 240 miles per hour, they become something more. They're thrill seekers, risk takers, and maybe just a little bit unhinged. Buckle up. This new era of speed, this racing revolution, it's just getting started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.
For 3.5 years, she plans for a career in veterinary science. Alejandra Carrillo.
Welcome back, folks, and welcome in halftime coverage here on the Main Street Preps Game of the Week. We are on the campus of Stewarts Creek in Rutherford County. Smyrna, technically, I've been told. Some folks get a little ornery about that. Don't call it Murfreesboro. Don't call it Smyrna. I'll let everybody decide what they want to decide. But we're here in Rutherford County, and Stewarts Creek got off to a great start, Casey. They lead this game 28-12 at halftime, but it is we arrived here in an unusual manner. It was 28-0. Stewarts Creek absolutely steamrolling their way through the first half. Stratford is backed up 3rd and 20. And deep in their own shadows of their own end zone practically, fixing to have to give possession late in the half to Stewarts Creek. But they pop loose for a massive touchdown, the first of 2 touchdowns late in the half for the Spartans from Wilson to Holbert. They got an interception mixed in to give them a short field, and in the blink of an eye, 28-12 is your new score. Stewarts Creek did get into field goal / 4th down territory toward the end of the first half, but a completion as time expired ended the half, and so they get no points on that final drive. Had to settle for 28-12. You were absolutely rolling for the first quarter and a half of this game, and now all of a sudden you don't necessarily feel so great at the break here.
Yeah, well, and honestly, I mean, their offense has been really, really good all night long except for the one turnover. And just like I was kind of saying earlier, I feel like Stratford kind of knew that this game was going Stewart Creek's way, and then it just more or less a few little mistakes here and there allow the Spartans to start to claw and fight their way back into it. And that's what they're doing, And if Stratford comes out in the second half and they think they can run with the Red Hawks, and they're going to, and that's what those last 5 or 6 minutes really allowed Stratford to do, is believe that they deserve to play this game.
100%, and that's what's going to make the opening moments of this third quarter so compelling. Stratford has to somehow batten down the hatches. As Casey mentioned, they did get 1 turnover late in the half, but it has been pretty crisp otherwise from Stewarts Creek. But they do have to kick, Stratford does. So if they are going to continue this little surge that they're on, they're going to need a defensive stop and or a turnover, and then they're going to need the offense to pick right back up. On the other side, Casey, Stewarts Creek, man, you had everything rolling. You and I were gushing about the offense. We were talking at length about their big bruising tailback, Jamarcus Brown, and what he has done. They had every play in the arsenal, or every play in the playbook kind of at their disposal. And then poof, in the blink of an eye, now all of a sudden, I'm going to be fascinated to see how aggressive they get offensively because they had everything kind of clicking there for a quarter and a half, and then suddenly it feels like it wilted a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm really interested on Stratford's side of it to see if their defense can slow them down because they did have that 1 turnover, but if you're Stratford, you can't expect Stewarts Creek just to turn the ball over whenever you want them to, and I don't think Stewarts Creek is going to. And they do have Jamarcus Brown. They've got Jaden McKnight. They've got a few people out here that have really been able to make a few plays tonight. Jerry Taylor's been good on his legs as well. So I got a lot of faith that Stewarts Creek going to be able to come out here and just continue moving the ball easily. I don't think they necessarily have to put the ball in too much danger. I think they can just keep it on the ground and really pound the clock out here. But that's what it's going to come down to. If the Spartans can come out here and stop them from just pounding the rock and wasting the clock, you've got a chance to see a football game here.
It will be fascinating again as we begin the second half. And chalk this one up under final scores that were deceiving from last week. Stratford, we talked about it in our open, goes to Hopkinsville, Kentucky, and loses 49-13. But if you kind of peel back the layers, they scored early in the second half and made that game a lot closer. Really kind of clawed back in within 8 points at 21-13. Before Hopkinsville really kind of battened down the hatches. They had 3 interceptions or 3 turnovers forced defensively in the second half to kind of run away with it. If Stratford can get the stop defensively and then get that offense humming again, we really have a game on our hands. But those are 2 big ifs as we begin the second half here in a couple moments.
Well, and if you want any more ifs to go with that offense and defense for the Spartans, it's going to come down to just snaps, penalties. It's the simple stuff that we've talked about countless times tonight. But if Stratford can do those little things right, they may be able to hang with Stewarts Creek. Now, Stewarts Creek, I think all they got to do is come out here and execute. And I think Coach Caldwell is going to want to see them execute at a really high level. They may not try all that creativity that we were talking about in that first half, but he's going to want to see them really execute everything at a very basic level here in the second half.
Yeah, and you kind of walk into a point there. At one point in the midway mark of the second quarter, you and I were speculating, hey, what do you want to work on in the second half? You don't want to – it's still a real game, obviously, but you kind of want to work on some things to get ready for that big matchup versus Siegel next week. Now, all of a sudden, you find yourself kind of in survival mode. So it will be a stiff test. And kudos, however this game shakes out. We mentioned Anthony Law coming back as the head coach of Stratford, but he was an assistant coach when they were the baby Red Hawks back then, in the early years when the school was founded in 2012 and 2013. He was a part of that coaching staff, so he's kind of made his return, and his team is playing well, kind of returning themselves to a little sense of pride here after what was threatening to be a real runaway. We suddenly have a game on our hands. Again, 28-12 is your score. We are going to kick it to a timeout. When Casey and I come back, we will swing it around the state with some TSSAA scores. We'll give you an update on college football. Stick around. It's Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage presented all season long by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Senior night being celebrated here at Stewarts Creek. The vast majority of, by the way, the longest senior night festivity I think I've ever seen in my entire life took place before the game. That was the players, that was the cheerleaders, the band members. Now we're getting into, we told you guys they've got an A-plus media crew here, and a lot of the student media members are getting recognized here. A couple of them even wearing some throwback Titans jerseys out there. I think I see a little CJ2K, a little Vince Young. Everybody putting on here.
There is a Drew Bennett jersey down here.
Baby, yeah, I see that now.
I'm going to go give that guy a high five when we're done.
I'm snapping a pic here.
I don't even know if he knows who Drew Bennett is. Like that's actually fantastic. Now, and that was one thing I was looking at earlier. I thought it was 90s hip-hop night because a lot of the kids had the low shorts too, which, don't get me wrong, I love the 90s. Give it back to me, But you see a young man coming off the field now. He has one of those old Tennessee jerseys. I believe it is a CJ2K. He's got a big chain on with a money symbol on it. And he's got the long shorts, long and one shorts. It looks like 1999 all over again.
I love it, folks, and we've had a great game. Everything about our trip to Stewarts Creek has been phenomenal tonight. Green Hill set the bar very high last Thursday. Stewarts Creek is threatening to top it, top to bottom here tonight. They have really taken care of us. They got an A-plus production. Their team leads at 28-12 here at the break. I promised you guys some scores, so scores we shall give you. These are TSSAA games. Some of these are final over in East Tennessee. Gatlinburg-Pittman with a 23-12 win over Cock County. Also final tonight, North Green running away over West Green 34-0. Unicoi County winning a squeaker, 29-27 over Northview Academy, and it was Seymour defeating Pigeon Forge, 17-8. Big showdown over in East Tennessee, Casey, as Knox Catholic leads Anderson County, 21-7. That game is at Anderson County. Bring your earplugs, folks, for the fireworks that they shoot off there. Game in the mid-state now that we want to update you guys on. At halftime, Blackman leading Cane Ridge, 14-6 is your score there, and our good friend and colleague Maurice Patton, props to you. I don't know that he gets hazard pay, but he should be entitled to it. He's down covering Mount Pleasant, who is hosting Zion Christian tonight. At the half, Mount Pleasant 49, Zion Christian nothing. Tough sledding there. One other quick game we want to mention being played. I was told by sources. I don't have many sources, but I got a few sources. I was told being played on the campus of MTSU tonight. Providence Christian, in a battle of 1-0 teams, is taking on Camden County, and Providence Christian leads that game 21-7 at the break. So we got a number of different good ball games. We got a healthy Thursday night slate here tonight for week 2, Casey.
When I tell you another good game, not in our coverage area, but that Jackson Southside team, that's always a really good team to watch. They're good every year at football, but a lot of good football tonight. It's just Thursday night, but we're blessed to be out here. I'm really glad we're not at the 49-0 game, but there's plenty of games we could have went to tonight that it would have been a lot of fun at. But I'm glad we're here. They've been great here for us tonight. The one thing I do have a problem with, I've had to smell that lemon pepper garlic behind me all night long, and I'm just fat enough for it to bother me.
Todd Harris is our fearless leader and our press box coordinator. He's kind of done everything for us here tonight. He's the A-plus administrator. He didn't say a single word about salad, breadsticks, wings, all kind of stuff. And Casey and I, we kind of catch each other just looking over our shoulders here, reaching for something during the game over the course of the first half. It was a very entertaining first half here. We just gave you some TSSAA scores. I'm going to do my best to bring you guys up to speed on a couple college football games that are underway tonight, and then we'll dip our toes into some more in a moment. At the end of the third quarter, NC State is leading East Carolina. That game is 24-7. Delaware, yes, I said Delaware. They are a proud member of FBS football now. They'll be in Murfreesboro later this year taking on the Blue Raiders. They lead Delaware State. I don't know what that rivalry is called, but I guarantee it's a cool nickname. 28-10 is that score in the fourth quarter there. Akron and Wyoming. Not exactly the game that I had on my bingo card in calling out the score tonight, but here we are. Wyoming leads that game 3-0, a nail-biter at the end of the third quarter. Our good friend and colleague down in Pulaski, Bart Mize, is a devoted Missouri Tigers fan, and he is all smiles right now because Missouri leads Central Arkansas 33-0. Casey, I know you picked Elon to beat Duke tonight. And that's a wild pick, but it almost is paying off. Duke leads Elon, but only 17-10 midway through the third quarter. So he's levitating over here, getting all excited. Oklahoma State, a little bit of a scrap. Not necessarily predicted to do super well. Not necessarily predicted to do major things in the Big 12, but they are an FBS team. They're taking on the Skyhawks of UT Martin, who have been in the news more so for their head coach and who his son is, the starting quarterback at Alabama. But the Skyhawks with a little fight to him tonight. It's 17-7 early in the third quarter there. More scores. Minnesota leading Buffalo late in the second quarter. 7-3 is your tally there. UAB locked in a Alabama brouhaha. The Blazers are leading Alabama State, but only barely. 17-14 is your tally there. Nebraska and Cincinnati are playing, and they're midway through the first. That game has no score at the moment with 5:22 left until the end of the first quarter. I'm losing my train of thought because Casey's eyes are popping out of his skull here, and mine are too. I didn't get to watch a single second of this game. It kicked off at 4:30, but how about South Florida stunning the Ashton Genty-less Boise State Broncos? They were ranked 25 in the nation, my friend, and Casey, South Florida put a whooping on them tonight. 34-7 was your final.
Oh, I love that. Alex Golesh, I talked about him on my show, the college football show I've got. I love Alex Golesh. I love what they're doing down there, South Florida. Good for them taking down Boise State.
Final score, it was a nail-biter for Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey, but they do win 34-31 over the Bobcats of Ohio University. Other games, obviously, that will be on your docket. We got a couple decent ones on the slate tomorrow. Two unranked teams, but two teams don't be surprised if they are ranked as the season goes along. Talking about Auburn and Baylor. We'll be on assignment tomorrow night, but I'll be checking my cell phone to keep eyes on that one as Auburn goes down to Waco for a 7 p.m. showdown on Fox. Georgia Tech is on the road at Colorado tomorrow. And then, Casey, you mentioned it. Tell folks about your show because I want you to give some props as we get into what you think are some of the bigger games on Saturday and into the weekend.
Well, of course, Ivan Aronin said it best. He's one of our colleagues. He thinks it's always interesting whenever they give me a microphone and access to talk.
I'm learning this 2 weeks in, partner.
Yeah. Yeah. But I do have a college football show. It goes live every Wednesday around 1 o'clock on our Facebook and our other social media pages and MainStreetPreps.com. But I think Saturday is going to be a massive day. And something else that's really important about Saturday, not just all the big matchups. Notre Dame lost last year in the first game of the year to Northern Illinois or whoever it was, and they returned to come back and play in the final game of the year. So if you're one of these teams like Texas or Clemson or LSU and Ohio State, all these big matchups on Saturday, you might lose that first game. You can still come back and make it towards the end. So we do have those big matchups. I will be watching Tennessee versus Syracuse at 11. Anything after that doesn't really matter that much, but it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
You're watching Tennessee, Syracuse while Texas and Ohio State are going on?
You would have to pry my eyes off of Tennessee playing themselves.
Not even a two-screen type operation, a cell phone in the lap, nothing like that?
I'll watch Tennessee play football on a baby monitor before I watch anything else. I don't care. I don't care who else is playing. I don't care what channel it's on. I don't care who's calling it. If we got Mike Keith on the radio, I'm going to turn the volume off the TV. I'm going to watch the Vols play football, and I'm going to listen to Mike Keith.
That's a diehard fan right there. That will be a fascinating game. I don't necessarily think Syracuse, they lost a couple key players in the portal, but there's some viable questions about Tennessee, and until we kind of see Tennessee do it, I still think they win that game, but you'd like to see them do it before. So that'll be fascinating. That rolls us through, and you made a great point, too. I'm going to say something, and I hope it lands properly with our listeners here tonight. The college football playoff expanding, it does, in my opinion, water down a little bit of the regular season matchups and the drama. But if this means we will continue to kind of get some of these games like a Texas, Ohio State, and I know they schedule these, years in advance, but like an LSU, Clemson, I'm okay with that. If you're going to water it down a little bit, at least give me a little extra juice early in the season to kind of get me hyped up.
Yeah, if you're going to water it down, concentrate it up a little bit.
Yeah,
just kind of even out what we've got going on, and I agree wholeheartedly. It is kind of hard to not water down a regular season whenever you start adding more stuff, and there's just so much money to be made with all these playoff games. It's hard not to add them, especially when somebody knows they're going to be able to fill their pockets with some cash, because that's usually what makes decisions. So I do like the fact that we're going to get some more games, but if they do give us those high-profile matchups throughout the year, it makes it a lot more fun to watch.
No doubt about that. It is going to be a fun weekend of college football. Make sure you check Casey out next week. You said Wednesdays?
Yes, kickoff with Casey's comes. It's going to go live every Wednesday at 1. We did the first episode last Wednesday, but, of course, it's all previews. It's just talking about what's coming. I'm really excited for next week's episode because I get to talk about everything that's happened through week 1. So, but, yeah, kickoff with Casey. Check it out, Main Street Preps.
Looking forward to it. Should be fun, and again, always exciting. I watched the first half of last week's episode. Hopefully going to catch the second half when I get home tonight, kind of putting this game behind us and kind of getting ready for college football. We have killed halftime here. 28-12 is your score, and just like that, toe has met leather. We are underway for the second half. Stratford yielding a pretty sizable return here. Stewarts Creek fielding from around its own 7-yard line out to the 35, where this drive will begin. Casey, biggest adjustment, if any, or what do you need to adjust defensively in your mind if you're Stratford at the moment?
Honestly, I wish I was a coach and could give you a good answer. I think if you want a pretty generic answer, what I'll tell you is they got to stop them, and they got to do something to get Jerry Taylor uncomfortable. He's been so comfortable all night long. He did throw the one pick. It was a bad throw across his body, but that's the only bad decision I've really seen out of him tonight. They got to make him uncomfortable, make him make more bad decisions.
They'll bring it in tight, kind of an offset eye here on 1st and 10, kind of a smash mouth give as they go right over the right side guard. We've talked a little bit about the big hog mollies up front. This is a massive unit for Stewarts Creek. They're battle tested. They got a couple big dudes that can go out there and go, including number 71, Jordan Shaw. He's kind of got some offers lurking around. I think James Madison's kind of in on him. And he kind of helps power a couple yards on the pickup there. Sets up 2nd and 7. Snapping it kind of quickly. They go back to the toss play. This worked well in the first half. It's working well here, making one man miss. And now 3, 4, 5 different Stratford players are just going for a piggyback ride on the back of Jamarcus Brown right there. We got a little extracurricular going on back behind the play as there's an injured Stratford player, but that toss to the right, Brown just waiting for the hole to develop and then seizing the moment, scooting up for about a 25-yard tote.
Yeah, and that's, honestly, if we were talking about if Stratford's going to get back into the game, that's the kind of stuff. They're just going to have to make it where Stewarts Creek doesn't get a bunch of yards with easy plays left and right. And, Jamarcus Brown just went right through the offensive line, stiff-armed a dude, and then carried 7 or maybe 5 Stratford players with him for another 5 or 6 yards.
11 minutes, 7 seconds remaining. Stratford, not the deepest team you've ever seen. So they can't afford a ton of injuries, really, at any position, let alone some playmakers. But finally, as we reset, 1st and 10, an instant first down. But the ball pops loose, and it's still loose. As many as 2, now 3 players have had a crack at it, and finally Stratford has fallen on it. You want to talk about a helmet flying and just hitting the football at the perfect angle. Busting loose, Jaden McKnight on the left. He had 10 yards needed for the first down in the blink of an eye, and then also in the blink of an eye, the ball hits the turf, and Stratford recovers their 2nd turnover forced this evening.
Well, and I'm not exactly sure if I'm right on this, but I believe it was Joshua Campbell that come off this bottom side of the line. Jaden McKnight did a good job of finding some open space, but when he made a move to find some more space, that gave Campbell enough time to catch up to him, and he did. He put the crown of that helmet right on the back end of that football, coming in from behind McKnight. McKnight didn't see him. Ball got loose. And again, I talked about this before. The Spartans, if they believe they can win this football game, it gives them a better chance to do so. And with stuff like that, you get a turnover on the first drive of the second half, you start to believe you can win this football game.
And we saw this, no disrespect whatsoever to Beach, but we saw at various points in the second half last week, they said, you know what, we're kind of punting on winning this game tonight. We're just going to go ahead and start working on things for the rest of the season. Stratford doesn't look interested in that. They forced the turnover. 2 out of the last 3 drives. Stewarts Creek have been flawless on offense on their first 4 drives, and now 2 of their last 3 have ended with turnovers. Stratford takes over at their own 26. They send a man in motion, a little orbit toward the right, and they fire downfield. And that pass is caught, hauled in by guess who? Jackson Law. Kind of a quiet night for Law, who really flourished in the first 2 drives tonight, but has been quiet ever since. But he picks up 12 yards for the first down.
Well, and on the turnover as well, there was an injury for Stewarts Creek, and it was Sam Bello, the backup running back or up back. No, don't run backwards.
Quickly on the give. This play will come back. Looks like a hold. Running hard at Santana Frost.
Flag on the play.
Stratford has had some really good running back play over the years. 2019, they had the 3A Mr. Football, Big James Moore. He was a much different back than the little speedster we're seeing, the sophomore Frost. Moore would just bowl you over and then run, throw a little juke move on you just when you thought you were done getting pounded. Frost has got the speed, and he had the angle there for the first down, but it's coming back on another penalty. They've killed themselves tonight with their own miscues.
That's been the one thing holding them back. This game could be tied if it wasn't for that.
Give here. Small give, nothing there.
On the carry, number 2, Santana Frost. Tackle made by number 11, Michael
Colquitt.
Well, in Frost, they're still running. You got 5 offensive linemen. You got 6 guys in the box for Stewarts Creek. It's hard to run against that box.
Wilson, who did not start tonight, sat the first 2 drives, fires a 50-50 ball. Man, there was a lot of contact. I could argue pass interference for either team at that point, but the jump ball just falls to the turf, incomplete. Stratford has it 3rd and 20, deep in their own territory, 9:45 to go in this quarter, and they trail 28-12.
Well, I'm not really sure what Anton Wilson should have done in that situation, but I really didn't like what he did do. But they do still have the ball. They're going to go 5 wide here now in a shotgun formation.
A pure empty backfield. They've had at least one blocker in there at times tonight. Stepping up, wide open, down the sideline, and that is Santana Frost. He kind of just lulled the defense to sleep. Frost was lining up on that far sideline, and Stratford's wanting to go lightning here. They're already up to the football, ready to snap it. Again, they trail 28-12. Fresh set of downs across midfield. They go back to Frost, this time on the ground. They have had a little success at times running up the middle tonight, but Frost is so shifty and so speedy to the edge. It's not a waste, but, man, it feels like you could really get a little more bang for your buck putting him on the edge there.
Yeah, and honestly right there, I thought they'd go fast and keep it 5 wide, and that way it'd keep it easier for Anton to figure out what he's looking at, but they decided to run it up the middle.
28-12. Again, Stratford trails, but they've scored 12 unanswered. Wilson, little sidearm bullet. That pass is caught. Ooh. Nice route downfield for Joe Campbell III. And you kind of start to see the heads hang a little bit for the first time tonight. Stewarts Creek leads this game 28-12, but everything is coming up Stratford. 8:50 to go here in the third. They quickly are at the ball. First and goal from the 4. And busted play of sorts.
No way.
Can he throw this? Is that live? Is that a touchdown? It is a live play. It is pass eligible. It looked like a designed run. It was a busted play out of the backfield. Wilson throws it, and lurking in the end zone, our old friend, guess who? Number 8. We've called his name now 3 times tonight. All 3 times we've called his name have been for touchdowns for Stratford. That is Nashawn Holbert, if my eyes do not deceive me. For about a 6-yard, one of the wilder plays you'll ever see, Casey Patrick.
Well, it had to be an RPO because I don't know why the receivers were even up the field. It looked like a run.
And 2-point conversion quickly to the ball, quickly fails. 28-18 is your new score. 8:42 left in the third. Casey, I'll say this, though. That RPO, obviously that was, otherwise we'd have saw a penalty flag. That was so beautifully ran that they got the old fake out the announcer. You know, I wish we could dub this to video because they fooled me entirely. I thought that was a busted play. I thought that was multiple flags coming for ineligible men downfield, but instead Holbert keeps the play alive, as does his quarterback Wilson. And they hadn't converted a point after attempt 1 or 2 just yet. But Stratford is back in this game. They trail 28-10 with 8:42 to go.
Well, and
in the third, excuse me.
No, you're good. But I'm glad you brought that up, too, because I thought there was going to be a flag. As soon as he threw the ball, I was like, oh, there's got to be a legal man downfield. But I didn't see an offensive lineman down the field. And you know, you said something else, too, about you see some heads hanging. Is this Stewarts Creek crowd maybe not necessarily happy with the last, 10 to 15 minutes of playtime?
This has been a wild game. And again, if Stratford could have converted any of their 3 point after attempts, the first one was blocked, a traditional kick. They ran 2 2-point attempts, both unsuccessful. They pooch kick here. Masterson has sent it into the end zone a couple of times. They pooch kick it. Stewarts Creek recovers and gets upfield. They're out to the 43. And we got an injured player. And it looks like a pretty tough injury, not your garden variety cramp that we're used to seeing this time of the year. We hope that's what it is, but it does not look good. We will step aside as Kingston McQueen, the return man, is down for Stewarts Creek. Alongside Casey Patrick, Wade Neely sitting in the saddle here. 8:36 to go in the third quarter. This game is 28-18. Stewarts Creek leading, but only by 10. We're back after this here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage from Rutherford County.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
We come back from a timeout here, and we're approaching the midway mark of the third quarter. This is going to be a very interesting final quarter and a half here in Rutherford County. Stewarts Creek led 28-0. It's now 28-18. Stratford has battled back in, but Stewarts Creek offense finally churning out some yards. They're right at the 50-yard line, 2nd and 4. And on the right side of hash, they turn, they give. And, man, that is blocked well. That is ran well, and the motor is revving. Say them two beautiful words for me, Casey Patrick.
That's a touchdown.
Jamarcus Brown. I was looking for he gone from last week.
I'm so sorry. I didn't know
I was throwing the lob to you.
I know,
there.
and I missed.
That's okay. We're early in the season here. Jamarcus Brown, it was blocked so well, and then he was looking for someone to hit, but nobody stepped up to take the challenge, and a massive offensive response. After turning it over twice in their last 3 possessions, Stewarts Creek finally gets back on the scoreboard here. 34-18, and we got a PAT pending. And that kick is up, and that kick is good. And how about that, Casey? We talked about how diverse their playbook kind of was in the first half when they were really clicking. When the chips are down, why not, right? Just turn it and hand it in the gut of big Jamarcus Brown. And I'm telling you, folks, he was 15 yards downfield looking for someone to hit, and there was just nobody to be had. So he said, you know what? All right, I'll scoot off to the races. He runs the final 30 yards untouched. What a run, what a drive, what a response there. Massive stuff from Stewarts Creek.
Yeah, I think Brown was just kind of jogging through the line there. He was more or less looking for somebody to stiff arm into the dirt, but once he saw nothing but green grass in front of him, he decided he would run towards the red end zone.
So as Casey just mentioned, I alluded to it a moment ago as well, the heads were starting to hang just a little bit for Stewarts Creek in the blink of an eye. This has been a game of quick turns. Stewarts Creek was dominating. And then Stratford, 3rd and 20 in their own half of the field. Looks like we're a running clock. Boom, they strike for a long touchdown. They add another. They put on a third. It was 28-18. You're thinking game on, but now Stewarts Creek has come rallying back. Can Stratford come up with a response? Their offense has suddenly started to look great. That was the best drive we've seen sustained offensively all night long a moment ago.
Yeah, and I think both of these offenses are starting to figure out some of those questions that they may have had maybe in the first half or maybe even last week. But really, you know, it is maybe, you know, last week I was asking for that shootout between Green Hill and Beach, and we might get that here in the second half. But I am interested to see if the Stewarts Creek defense can kind of shore things up here.
Stratford has picked itself up off the mat a couple of times tonight. Can it do it once more? Not on this play. 1st and 10, simple give up the middle. And however, we mentioned it even when the game was 28-0. However this game plays out, Stratford, you're going to have to choke the life out of them if you want to win the game first and foremost. But number 2, they are going to give some teams some real fits at some point this season, I have a feeling.
Yeah, and they're running the ball just to keep the defense honest, but they've had a lot of trouble running it. They're going to have to get back in with throwing it.
There's a little RPO. And 2 receivers in the area, and unfortunately it splits the 2 as Holbert was in the area. There goes our streak of only mentioning him when it's a touchdown. I apologize to Nashawn Holbert. But also Jordan Stem was in the area. Think about this, too, if you're Stratford. You're getting a whale of a game. Obviously, 3 touchdowns from Nashawn Holbert. everybody's keying in on Jackson Law going forward. You suddenly have a massive second target there.
Well, and Santana Frost made a nice catch, too, out here running around. So they've got some weapons. They got to figure out how to use them.
35-18 is your score. Wilson stepping up in the pocket. He is stood up, and he was a second away from being ruled in the grasp there, but standing up, shades of Cam Ward almost back in his career at Miami there. He just stands up and just throws it out of bounds. That's a crafty play to avoid the sack, but, I mean, it was a nanosecond for being blown dead.
Well, and I mean, I was about to say, he's inside the tackle box. It's it's an intentional
grounding. Loss of down.
I was surprised there wasn't a flag. I was trying to figure out what was going on.
I was going to say, there you and the refs go ruining a good time. I was
I like to ruin people's fun time.
I was a little – I was just going to gloss over that fact, but there was no flag, and then finally they did drop it.
I'm good at raining on people's parades, Wade. I do that pretty good.
And Stratford, this time it comes back to bite them. We've seen them on 3 different occasions tonight begin a drive, and then less than a minute later, they're already in a punting situation. And it has been a real adventure on the punts. Again, this is one of their better ones tonight. Booted from around the 15. It takes the wildest little knuckling bounce you've ever seen at the 45. Scoots across midfield and is finally touched down by Stratford's unit at the Stewarts Creek 47. So order has seemingly kind of been restored a little bit here. Now for Stewarts Creek, if you can put more points on the board, it really feels like, yeah, this game will be lights out. But you still got to come up with the answer, and Stratford's been scrappy all night.
Yeah, and I'm not really worried about Stewarts Creek offense moving the ball. It's holding on to it. The only time they haven't scored is when they've given the ball over to Stratford. So you may see Coach Caldwell, maybe that's something that he kind of works on next week at practice. Maybe that's what he's talking to him down there now. Jaden McKnight's back out there after fumbling last time he was on the field. So I think they're going to really concentrate on ball security here.
Just shy of midfield. There's the toss play. This play has worked virtually every time tonight. But, oh, man, finally swarming to the football. As many as 5 players for Stratford, including our guy, big number 77, 5'9", officially listed, we pointed out earlier, but a little taller. 5'9", 290, number 77, Mabry Badger. He makes the stop. One of the big hog mollies up front. Trayvon Hughes, also a junior defensive lineman, in on the tackle there. It is a loss of 4. And Stewarts Creek going backwards to start this drive. Second, and they call it 13, so loss of 3. A little sweep to the left. Blocked very well over on that left side. And Jaden Stewart doesn't need a ton of real estate to work with, but he found just enough and then some. He gets beyond the original line of scrimmage, and he is just out across midfield. Ball resting at the Stratford 49. 35-18, Stewarts Creek with the ball and the lead.
Well, and I tell you what I really like about this offense. That last play, they lined up in shotgun. You got 2 guys in the backfield with Jerry Taylor. And they run it out of a shotgun look. It's an outside zone off the left tackle, outside his hip. And it's with Jaden Stewart. He's got some good speed off the corner. But now here they go with the I formation again. You got a fullback back in. Sam Bellows back out there. You're going to pound the rock again. Oh, maybe not.
They were going to, or at least it appeared. And did we get a timeout in? Is that what the official signaled?
That's what he just signaled, but I thought it was a flag.
Man, that was almost simultaneous. Maybe the timeout came in first, but somebody on the line jumped for Stewarts Creek. So kudos to coaching staff for the Red Hawks there, sneaking in a timeout. We will sneak in a break as well. Don't you dare touch those Main Street Media dials. Casey and I are back right after this, midway through the third. Good ball game here tonight from Rutherford County. It's Stewarts Creek leading Stratford 35-18, back in 30 seconds.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Back with you guys here on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage. MainStreetMediaRadio.com. You can also check us on the MSM TV app, Facebook, X, YouTube, you name it, we got it. Worldwide here tonight, 35-18 out of a timeout. This is a huge third down. Can Stratford's defense get off the field? Maybe. They string this play out, and Taylor finally ran out of room. He was rolling to his right. And on the far side of the field, he had the acreage to maybe pull off the first down, but Stratford brings him down. That was a great tackle, tripping him up. Keon McAllister, who had that one-handed grab toward the end of the first half, he makes a similar tackle there. And it's decision time for Coach Caudill and his coaching staff here. And that turns out there is no decision. They leave the offense right out there. 4th and 4.
4th down for Stewarts Creek.
Or is this a hard count situation? Play clock's already down to 7. No, they snap it. Toss play to the right, the short side of the field. And Stratford has the play bottled up. And you always wonder this. No flags, no flags, no flags. There are no flags. And Stratford, who had been getting gashed all night long on that toss to the right, comes up with a massive stop there. One of the few times we saw Jamarcus Brown go for 50 yards and a touchdown on that play just a moment ago. They stop him on 4th down. They take over, trailing 35-18.
When I really don't like running that toss to the short side of the field.
Yeah,
I don't hate the toss. The toss has obviously been pretty efficient for him, other than the one tackle for loss back here at the beginning of this drive. But Brown, I mean, really, you're not giving him anywhere to go, and he didn't have anywhere to go.
A toss in particular, you're already guiding him even further. You're right, toward that sideline. Can Stratford respond? They've done so on a number of occasions. They were left for dead midway through the first half and have rallied back. They need an answer now. Oh, and it's picked off! What a snag! Daniel Johnson just diving right in front of one. That had a completion written all over it until Johnson got his fingertips to it, falling to the turf at around his own 45-yard line. A little bullet right over the middle. Johnson jumps in front. A acrobatic interception to say the least, and Stewarts Creek turns the tables on the Spartans. They have the football 1st and 10 at their own 45.
I'm going to tell you something else, too. Nashawn Holbert was running all by himself on a corner route out there around the 35-yard line. And, Anton Wilson's got a good arm. He could have hit him in stride, and he'd still be running.
They go to the right. Jet sweep. Still on the right. Out across the 30. Out across the 20. Jaden Stewart running hard. And the jet sweep, not the toss. Similar concept, though. They just started pulling some guys and getting some blockers upfield. And Stewart's got the wheels. He takes one from his own 45 all the way down to the Stratford 10. Man, there have been a lot of quick turns and twists in this game here tonight. Stratford's back on its heels yet again.
Yeah, and Stewarts Creek don't care where the ball's placed at. They're going to run to the right. They do not care.
They got great guys on that right side of the offensive line, and then they pulled a couple big hog mollies from the left, and that is a scary sight when everybody gets rolling downhill like they've done. Bleeding the play clock down to 2. They turn, they snap it untouched.
Untouched.
Into the end zone. Jamarcus Brown. What do you do for an encore when you have 36 carries, 258 yards, and 4 touchdowns in week 1? Well, I don't have the carries and I don't have the yards tabulated just yet, but I can tell you that's his 4th touchdown tonight. 2 yards, 12 yards, 50 yards, and that one from 10. Brown is on a heater to start the year. And Stewarts Creek might have delivered a KO right here to the Spartans.
Yeah, you said it perfect. Untouched. The offensive line again. They're going to run right, and I don't blame them after that. I mean, the way they're just offensive line moving guys out of the way. Sam Bello, fullback, getting in there, moving guys out of the way. Old school football. Good touchdown. How did he not block that?
Stratford got a guy in off the edge and didn't block it, but the PAT is sailed off to the right. Casey, we like to participate. We do that a little bit with our nominations, and we might even slip a vote here and there. But our Delta Dental Player of the Week last week was Dixon County's Tristan Brown. And I want to say just one thing. Tristan Brown had a outstanding game last week. But if there was a case or maybe an argument for either a tie or, man, it had to have been a real toss-up, Tristan wins that award, 163 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns, but he also had that opening kickoff for the score. But I don't know, partner. Jamarcus Brown, 36 totes, 258 yards, and 4 TDs. That sounds pretty good to me, too. Both worthy candidates, but kudos to Tristan Brown on winning it last week.
Well, that was the first thing I thought of, too, when Russell texted or emailed us and told us that Tristan had won the vote. Of course, that was really awesome. And then I go back and I start looking at these stats for Jamarcus Brown last week. And I saw 36 carries for him. Then I thought, okay, he had the same kind of week Tristan Brown did. Of course, like you said, a few more rushing touchdowns. But yeah, it's a fantastic week. A great week one from both of those guys for both of their teams to pick up big wins. So, I guess we must have had that penalty. I didn't know what it was there at the end of that last play. They're going to kick off from the 45 here.
Yeah, and this is I don't know that they will up 42-18, but this is prime onside kick territory. When you get that penalty and you can kick it from deep, man, instead you just blast one.
He decided to kick it in the parking lot.
Showing off the leg. Hey, by the way, I had this jotted down. You don't always get to dump all your, news and nuggets, but did want to give a quick shout-out. Stewarts Creek alum, Upton Belafont. If you don't know his name now, if you don't remember him at Stewart Creek, watch a little Texas Tech football. Speaking of legs, started his career at Alabama, then goes on to Buffalo. He's now at Texas Tech, who some are saying, Casey, could be a little sneaky in the Big 12 this year. So we will keep tabs on Upton, and we will also – he's on the Groza watch list as we enter the season this year.
The Groza watch list, it's always a fun one to keep up with. Those special teamers don't always get enough credit for the good job that they do. But Texas Tech, a team you need to look out for in a lot of different sports. They got money. They got money now, so they're willing to use it.
Money talks, some people say. We saw it in softball pay off, certainly. Runner-up finish for those young ladies there. So now Stratford is really up against it, and this is going to be, again, similar to last week's loss up in Kentucky to Hopkinsville. The final score is going to make you rip your hair out because right now it's 42-18, but this was a 28-18 game. Feels like about 5 minutes ago. Stewarts Creek has really just restored the order here. Wilson, run-pass option. Wanted to run, wanted to throw. Now was going to run eventually after all of that. And on 2nd and 8, he picks up 8.5, moving the sticks out across his own 30. 3:04 to go here in this third quarter. Stratford trails 42-18.
Well, I'm going to tell you, too, on that first down play, I know that Anton Wilson was just able to get the first down, but on that first down play, Xavion Edwards came down from his safety position again and made another really good tackle on Santana Frost after the 2-yard gain.
I'm glad you said that. Hold that thought after this play here. Fresh set of downs. Oh, stuffed. Ooh. Absolutely bottled up. 3 different Stewarts Creek defenders flying to the football. Eli Murray leading the charge. And the senior, we haven't got a chance to really shout him out. He's had great coverage and in pursuit all night, but that time he got to pin his ears back, and he comes flying up from the secondary position, making the sack in the backfield, the senior. Point I was getting ready to make has, flown out of my brain, Casey. It'll come back to me after this play now. 3rd and 22. Yet again, a quick 3rd and long here for Stratford and brought down, not a sack, as Wilson got beyond the line of scrimmage, but he did not get much further. This defense, that's my point, Casey. I knew it would come back to me eventually here, partner. Stewarts Creek, we haven't had a chance to really shout out a ton of their defense tonight, but they played well, and the score is what the score is. But this is an explosive Stratford. This is one of those games where you may see a guy who we haven't called his name all night long, but he's going to be drenched in sweat. He has been battling his tail off defensively, whether trying to shut down Law, trying to keep tabs now on Holbert. This defense has had to battle, and they've been up to the test, and that's why they've only yielded 18 points. They could have surrendered a lot more, certainly.
Yeah, well, and honestly, the one long pass to Holbert, as a coach, I don't really think you beat your team up too much about that one, and they scored a touchdown on the short field. But then they had the long drive after the second half. Other than that, your defense has been pretty good. And Xavier Edwards calling out plays, making plays. He's been huge today.
3rd and 16. Wilson close to the line of scrimmage, but he does fire downfield and bobbled. Looked like Frost might have dropped to a knee and caught it, but he couldn't bring it in. And Coach Anthony Law, a little bit of a white flag wave here. With 1:30 left in the third, he trots out the punting unit. I know it's kind of do or die, but you are backed up 4th and 16 and deep in your own territory.
I'm like 40% sure that was 4th down and that this is 5th down.
We
I'm
called
crazy.
that play, and something happened with the officials. I don't know if it was a flag. I don't know if they a classic redo. I don't know what happened, but you're right.
The garlic pepper's starting to get to me. And that's what's happening.
And now, unfortunately, Stratford, who's had a woeful night snapping the ball, they have their best snap of the night, but it comes after a delay of game penalty. We mentioned it in our first half. Stratford is at Lawson next week. That'll be a big showdown for the Spartans to try and get their first win of the season, unless they pull off an absolute miracle here in the fourth quarter. Meanwhile, though, Stewarts Creek, a titanic showdown to start region play next Friday night here at the Crib versus Siegel. Another good snap. And this is not the prettiest punt by any means aesthetically, but it is by far the best punt that Stratford has gotten. That ball got about 6 feet off the leg of Thacker. But the good news is once it cleared the line and hit the ground, it took about a 25-yard roll all the way down to the 31 where Stewarts Creek will take over. $1:20 to go left in this third quarter. 42-18 alongside Casey Patrick. Our producer tonight is Mark Rogers. Assistant production from way down there, south end of Middle Tennessee in Pulaski, Scott Stewart. Appreciate all the crew. Appreciate everybody checking in. Week 2 of Main Street Preps action. We got an announcement to make, speaking of our Main Street schedule coming up here in just a minute. Been withholding some info from our viewers. We'll get back to that. Screen on 1st and 10. They dial it up, and it's completed. And still running, out across the 45, still running across the 50, breaking one tackle. He needs one more to go to the house. Kingston McQueen, that is about as beautifully drawn up a screen as you will get. Sneaky on 1st and 10, up 42-18. Just a little extra trickeration there from Stewarts Creek.
Well, and Kingston McQueen had to come off the field earlier with a little injury, and we were kind of worried that it wasn't just a muscle spasm. So, I mean, it's good to see he's back out there and moving around. He moved around really good, breaking a few tackles, making some guys miss, and getting them down here on the 35-yard line.
Under 40 seconds now by the time this ball is snapped. And we probably think about some second unit players coming in the fourth, but we still got a little meat on this bone here in the third as a brilliant play from Taylor rolling to his right. A little bit of a design keeper there. He's completely bottled up on the right. He reverses field back to his left, making a little chicken salad there, and he picks up first down yardage. Stratford, we got a big fella down, and that's Michael Butler. 5'10", 260. He got the 5'10" designation that Casey was seeking desperately for our boy Badger earlier. He went down very gingerly, but he gets up rather quickly, and he's going to try and walk it off here. Hopefully he's okay.
Now he looks like he's all right. That's about my walking speed. I think he'll be all right.
He's going to rub a little dirt on it and hopefully get back out there. And I mentioned you probably will see, at least for Stewarts Creek, Stratford does not have, and again, this is a matchup here tonight. Stewarts Creek, obviously a 6A program, deep in terms of their enrollment, deep in terms of their participation. Stratford, meanwhile, they're in the 3A football ranks. They're in there with Maplewood, Westmoreland, White House Heritage, and Whites Creek. Whites Creek, you say? I told you guys, we got an announcement coming up in a minute. That is a shifty carry right there from McKnight. I'll tell you what, Casey, as the third quarter comes to a close, Stewarts Creek leads 42-18. I love what I've seen out of all these different backs. A number of options and different styles that Coach Caldwell and his staff can kind of deploy going forward.
Yeah, and you know, I saw McKnight down here just a minute ago talking with one of his coaches, and he kind of patted him on his head. I think McKnight, he's been kind of hard on himself after that fumble earlier, but man, every time he's had the ball in his hands, he's been a lot of fun to watch. You know, we came in tonight talking about Jamarcus Brown, and don't get me wrong, 250-some-odd yards, 4 touchdowns. I mean, he deserves everything we're going to say about him. But Jaden McKnight he's had him a good game here tonight too. He showed off his legs pretty good. Jaden Stewart's had him a good night. Jerry Taylor, I was just looking him up. I know you saw me on my phone. I was just sitting here looking him up, trying to find some recruiting on him. I like him as a quarterback. He moves around. He's really smooth. He's really confident. He's really poised in what he's doing. And it helps. I think it helps everybody else in your offense feel a little bit more confident about what they're doing when your quarterback is that way.
I'm in 100% agreement. I like his poise and presence. He did have the one kind of head-scratcher in one play, one throw late in the second quarter that he definitely wishes he had back. But other than that, he's been virtually flawless tonight in terms of his decision-making. And he is out there with the offense as we have bled right into the fourth quarter here. 42-18 is your score. Stewarts Creek in their black uniforms, driving right to left as we begin this final frame here. Barring something insane, is going to get out of here with a nice victory. Oh, big tackle. Buckle up, folks. Keon McAllister, he's had 2 shoestring tackles here tonight, and that time he got his money's worth. McAllister, the senior, 5'11", 200 pounds, flying off the edge, wrapping up with a vengeance and making the stop. It'll be a big third down coming up for the Red Hawks now.
Number 55 is one of their team leaders, and he's one of the leaders on that defense, and he showed why tonight. He's made quite a few different plays, maybe touchdown saving plays, but on that one he made a big play in the backfield to knock them back.
Stewarts Creek, bleeding play clock, and there's a give up the middle and another tackle. That's Azon Johnson, 5'9", 170. And McKnight is stuffed. He got minimal yardage, so it'll be 4th and about 5. And this is a spot where you may consider, I don't know, you want to go for it, obviously, I think, but also you may consider a field goal here just to kind of see, add a little extra seasoning to your kicking game, perhaps.
They must not really be trying the kicking game much, but, I mean, I think you could try that toss to the right here if you wanted. Now you got plenty of room.
We got 2 choices. We could, they're going to run a boot to the right, and if Taylor can elude one man, he might have some daylight, and he does. And Taylor lowers the shoulder. Oh, and the ball comes loose at the end of the play in the end zone, and it's recovered by Stratford. I don't believe it. Falling on in the end zone for a touchback. Taylor escaped immediate danger, cleared the corner, and once he got the edge, rather than going out of bounds, cuts upfield, lowers a shoulder, and that sprung him on his way to the end zone. And around the 2, he took one other hit. The ball fumbles forward into the back of the end zone. Stratford recovers. And as frustrating as the game has been for Stratford tonight, you're going to go back and watch the film and say, man, we weren't at our best by any means tonight for Stewarts Creek. 3rd turnover tonight. They still lead at 42-18, though.
Yeah, and, I mean, really it's this whole game, it's been kind of like, they used to call it Pac-12 after dark.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just been nonsense the whole time, back and forth, a lot of craziness going on. But Jerry Taylor, I've been talking highly about him all night, made another fantastic play there. Stratford defender, I didn't get an eye on it. I don't know who it was, but somebody came in there, put the helmet right on the football again, and forced a fumble. If you're Coach Caldwell, you're not happy about the fumble, obviously, but teaching moments, this is a good time to fumble when you're up 42-18 in the fourth quarter. So this is a good teaching moment for him and something that Stewarts Creek can learn from.
42-18. Stratford has made the change back to Thacker at quarterback. If you just joined us, they got a really good backup. Patterson Thacker, 6'3", 225-pound sophomore. He looks the part, and we saw him for the first 2 drives tonight. Still never got an official explanation for Wilson not starting. That kind of veers into maybe discipline. But Thacker looked impressive on his first 2 drives. They just couldn't finish. Not impressive here. And that ball does come loose, but he is ruled in the grasp. 2 different Red Hawks as Nick Condon, haven't called his name tonight, but the sophomore pinning his ears back, 5'9", 195-pound sophomore Nick Condon getting credit for the sack there. That's at least the 6th sack tonight.
Stewarts Creek has dominated the line of scrimmage. They have on both sides of the ball. It's just been small mistakes that they've been giving the ball up.
May see a quarterback change next time Stewarts Creek gets the ball. And it might be sooner than later. That pass was up for grabs in the middle. Jackson Law had a solid start to this game. Couple of targets, couple of grabs on the first 2 drives. Didn't hear much from him for the next little bit. And then late in the second quarter, we heard his name a time or 2. Frustrating night for him as he went over 100 yards with 2 touchdowns last week. We'll be shouting him out as Stratford season continues. We're talking about a really good 6A program versus a 3A Stratford squad. Another good kick here for the record. Stewarts Creek electing to fair catch, and they do haul it in cleanly. Right back where we started the game for Stewarts Creek offensively, Casey, at the 39-yard line. For those that have missed this tonight, Stewarts Creek on their very first defensive possession forcing a punt, and a muff punt gave them the ball at the 39. They took over and scored. They got it back, scored again. They scored a few more times. They led this game 28-0, and we were screaming toward a running clock in the second half. But props to Stratford. However this game ends up, they claw all the way back, make it 28-18 until it's kind of turned into a runaway down the stretch. 42-18 is your score late in this contest.
R.C. Davis is going to take over at quarterback, which, he was down here getting warmed up, but Jerry Taylor does not look to be happy to be sitting on the bench. I know they got a big lead, but he's upset about it.
Little trap here toward the left. Stratford kind of flowing to the ball there. Good pursuit. That's John Johns Collins making the stop. Yeah, you're right. Taylor's going to be frustrated. He might have been coming out of the game no matter what happened, but it really makes you that more aggravated when you depart after a turnover like that.
Well, yeah, because think about it. You're 6 inches away from the last play being a touchdown, but not the fumble.
Like I said, he probably was destined to be pulled. So a disappointing end in that regard, but.
Well, I'm fairly certain he was coming out of the game.
Yeah.
I think you're going to start seeing, if everybody's not, you're going to start seeing more of the starters come out for Stewarts Creek.
Going to see a couple more players rotating in as this one. Hopefully I get this name correct. Joen Jack, 5'10", 297-pound senior. One of the unsung heroes on the line. He slipped in on the left side here for Stewarts Creek as they go under center, second and short. Here's a deep bootleg.
Oh.
And passing the flat is sailed over the head of Jamari Johnson. Casey, I'll ask you point blank. Let's go Stewarts Creek first, and then we'll go to Stratford. What do you want to see now that we've got 2 games worth of tape under our belt? What adjustments do you want to see your 2 teams respectively make heading into week 3?
Well, for Stewarts Creek, there's this old football exercise used to do. The coaches used to make the players walk through the hallways throughout the week, and they'd be carrying the football with them, and they'd tell the rest of the kids to try to knock the football out. And I think Stewarts Creek need to try something like that just to work on making sure you don't put the ball on the ground anymore. And for Stratford, this is going to be about fixing up the simple things, the penalties and the snaps, and just the easy stuff.
Going to get a delay of game here.
That's crazy. That was right at the clock, really.
It's interesting for Stratford. You say that, and that's kind of a scary thought for the rest of the teams on their schedule. They just need to fix a few, quote, simple things. And who knows how tonight ends up, but then also who knows how the rest of their season ends up if they take care of those.
Yeah, well, and I to be honest, I think they do have quite a few other, probably some issues that they would need to fix. The offensive line has been beaten up today. Stewarts Creek has dominated the line on both sides of the ball. And there's definitely things that Stratford needs to work on, but if you can't snap the ball and you're just shooting yourself in the foot the whole time, it's not really going to matter what else you're doing.
A rarity here. Is that the first one of these? We got a punting situation for Stewarts Creek. Oh, and tough break there. Stratford playing with fire. They elect not to field it at around the 11.
That was a nice play by Joe Campbell, though, to kind of make them think that he was going to catch it to stop them from downing it inside the 5.
Both teams with some more homework heading into week 3. We mentioned Stratford and Lawson. We mentioned the Siegel matchup versus Stewarts Creek. Casey and I, we're headed to Mount Juliet. It feels like we were just in Mount Juliet last week. We're headed to Mount Juliet Christian next Thursday. Whites Creek, we talked about Whites Creek a lot earlier in our pregame with Anthony Law being the head coach there prior to his arrival as an assistant here at Stewarts Creek, and now the head coach at Stratford. For as many games as Thacker's back out there offensively for the Spartans, 1st and 10, they run it from the 20 and they get about 5 yards. For as many games as there were on the slate tonight, pickings were slim next week, and we wanted to keep to our Thursday schedule. No real games in our coverage area except for Whites Creek and Mount Juliet. And, hey, I wouldn't have it any other way. We get a chance to see the Cobras, and we get a chance to see Mount Juliet Christian. That's a school that I've never laid eyes on, as the Saints will host the Cobras next Thursday night.
Well, and Whites, we got a fumble on the field, and Whites Creek has recovered it.
Stewarts Creek, different creek there.
Oh, yeah. We
got creeks on the brain.
Football game. Yeah, I'm getting mixed up now.
We mentioned that, though, and that was a tough break there. It's just a little simple miscommunication. Simple, yet again. Mm-hmm. Running back and quarterback kind of colliding. Ball pops loose. Game really kind of getting away down the stretch here. 7:16 to play. And Stewarts Creek, with its second unit, a chance to maybe tack some points on. But, yes, Mount Juliet Christian
and Whites Creek.
And Whites Creek will be going toe-to-toe next week. Mount Juliet Christian is on the road at Concord Christian tomorrow night. As we got a toss, this time to the left, a real rarity tonight. Nice open field tackle there for Kobe Buford, 5'9" junior. Other team in that equation, Whites Creek, they're on the road at Trousdale County. How about a slate for the Cobras to start the year? They went on the road and beat Franklin Simpson, Kentucky to start their season. They're at Trousdale tomorrow night, and then they go to Mount Juliet Christian. First 3 games on the road for the White Creek Cobras.
Well, Whites Creek is a team that they've ran into Creekwood and a few other teams that I cover a few times. So I've heard of them. You know, I've never been to one of their games.
A little slip give up the middle here to Jaden McKnight. Took Casey's words right out of his mouth there. As McKnight just breezing past 2 or 3 would-be tacklers at the line of scrimmage. He's finally brought down at around the 4. 1st and goal coming up for Stewarts Creek, who leads this game with 6:25 to go. 42-18 is your count.
Yeah, that was another. I mean, just that slip play they've had right up the middle there, the kind of like a trap, mid-trap. They've had that open most of the night. This offensive line's been really impressive for Stewarts Creek.
We know the O-line doesn't get as much love no matter what team it is, but this is an impressive unit. You said, late penalty's going to come in here. No gain on the initial carry, but McKnight was grabbed by the face mask. Casey, we didn't get a chance to mention it. We were, as much as everything was top-notch here at Stewarts Creek tonight, we did get cheated just a little bit, but it was through no fault of Stewarts Creek. The Stratford Marching Legion was not here tonight, and I promised I would do this, but shout out to my guy Riker Lugo. He's one of the tuba players for over there for the Stratford Marching Legion. They didn't make the trip tonight, but hopefully that just means they're getting rest up and getting ready for the rest of the season. Long season even for the band as well, partner.
Oh, yeah, and if you've ever been to Stratford for one of their games, that band, they get loud. They make plenty of racket, and they sound really good.
If you catch the wind on a Friday night just right, I can hear it from my back porch right in our neck of the woods over there near Shelby Park as a toss. Again, the toss to the left. The right has been their preferred destination all night, but they toss McKnight to the left. He was 2 or 3 yards into the end zone by the time somebody really got a lick on him. McKnight plunges in. The backup unit McKnight, make no doubt about it, he is a starting caliber player for a lot of teams. But as a backup here, he finally gets a little shine. Brown with 4 touchdowns, Taylor with 1, Bello with 1, and now add McKnight to the mix here.
Well, I'm glad McKnight finally got him one because he did have that fumble earlier. He was beating himself up for, and he had a few plays where he had 1 touchdown taken back. So, good for the young man to get into pay dirt and feel good about it.
It's good.
Yeah, McKnight's going back saying, man, Coach, you maybe wait a little while. You're right, he goes in. That was on Taylor's touchdown. We saw him go in, play gets called back. It's been a crazy ball game here tonight, folks. Week 2 of the Main Street Preps, Thursday night game of the week coverage. Alongside Casey Patrick, Wayne Neely saying hello. And, again, if you just tuned in, it was 28-0. Stewarts Creek was rolling. In the blink of an eye, it was 28-12 at halftime. Stratford gets a stop, gets a turnover, I should say, to start the third quarter. They score 28-18. And that may be some homework as well for Coach Law and his staff. We mentioned it earlier. They cut it to 21-13 in the third quarter at Hopkinsville, Kentucky last week, and ended up kind of getting ran out of the building. Similar script here tonight. You make it 28-18, and then the wheels kind of came apart. You're going to fall here tonight. 49-18 is your score with 5:30 to go.
Well, and the one thing about it is that I think it gives Coach Law a better chance to figure out exactly what he can do to fix his team. When your team starts to show consistencies, even if they are bad, that makes it a little bit easier to really figure out what's going on. So, Stratford, we've seen plenty of talent out here tonight for them. It's just, like we've said it plenty of times, shooting themselves in the foot. They've got plenty of things to work on, and this is the kind of game that's going to show you the stuff you need to work on, but it's also going to show you the stuff that you do good. And Stratford does plenty of stuff pretty good. And so there's plenty to go off of from this game for the Spartans.
They will kick it semi-deep, fielded by Stratford at around the 11. And cutting upfield, a little daylight over there on this near sideline. That was Michael Moore, 5'8", 140-pound junior Michael Moore.
140 pounds, I believe that. He's
that part of the roster you're in agreement with.
Yeah, no, he's a slender guy. That's why he's back there on kickoffs. He moved pretty quick too. He had an open hole for a minute. He hit the first hole, but they were able to tackle him right before he made it around the corner.
Good bounce back here tonight after things were kind of wobbling for Stewarts Creek. Again, they dominated the first quarter and a half, and then came roaring back once Stratford had got it to 10. 4:30 and change remaining as Stratford will start this drive from their 37. Coming up across Main Street Media, we got a great slew of games coming your way tomorrow night. You can read them in all of our Main Street publications across Middle Tennessee, but also MainStreetPreps.com. Brentwood Academies at Brentwood. Pearl Cone and CPA is going to be a dandy. Our good friend Russell Venozzi is going to be there on hand for that one. I'm envious of you, Russell. As this ball, low snap, but picked up by Thacker, and he dumps one in the flat. Little wiggle there from Michael Moore, who had the return a moment ago. Some other games in our coverage area tomorrow night. Casey, Father Ryan at Riverdale. Innsworth is going to be at Nashville Christian. Creekwood, right there in your neck of the woods, but they're on the road at James Lawson. And Columbia Academy will be at BGA. Casey mentioned earlier, we're on assignment tomorrow. Casey will be on hand, Montgomery Central, invading East Hickman. You ever been to Lyles, Tennessee?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're familiar with the ins and outs there of the Eagles. Hopefully they can bounce back. They had a tough one in their season opener last week versus Fairview. Yours truly, I'll be on duty up in Cheatham County tomorrow night. Checking out the brand-new stadium. Going to get to see the Cubs and Coach Halstead in action in their brand-new digs. They host Glencliff tomorrow night up there in Cheatham County.
Almost 700 days since they've been able to play in Ashland City for those guys.
It will be quite the atmosphere, or at least I'm anticipating a good one.
Well, and even a few weeks ago when they had that little preseason thing that I went to, that was a lot of fun, and the stands were packed then. And for the first time since 1971, they are going to have away visitor seating. So
wow.
that was one of the main things they wanted to do. So they've got that added in, and I'm really excited for those people over in Ashland City and those kids at Cheatham County, because I hated last year they didn't get to play at home, and they really deserved the opportunity to play in front of a nice stadium.
Toss in the flat here. Final 218 is going to roll continuously here. Other games, Giles County down in my old stomping grounds, they will host Henry County. Talk about a long road trip tomorrow. Henry County making a trip to the Brickyard. Should be a fun one there. Spring Hill will be at Richland. Wayne County is at Summertown. Waverly at Hickman County tomorrow night as a give up the middle. And I don't know how this young man is still on his feet.
They're battling.
Second unit. That's Caesar Harris. We called his name earlier, by the way, on a tackle. Showing a little resolve there, running the football. Final 90 seconds here. Stewarts Creek never trailed tonight. They're going to win this one running away as they pressure Thacker. Man, he got it away. That's the third play tonight that I thought the officials might blow in the grasp, and they let it continue. And by the hair on his chinny chin, Thacker just shot puts a pass away, keeping the play alive. Even though this game is over effectively.
Well,
little moxie from the QB. This kid's only a sophomore, Casey.
Yeah, and I like the way he's played when he's got his opportunity out there today, but this is just really bad. This is 2 weeks in a row now with what seems to be a fairly serious injury in the final minute. We've got a young man that is in some pretty serious pain over down by the 34-yard line.
We hate to do this 2 weeks in a row, folks, but we are going to yield a little time here and let the athletic training staff check on what is a serious and developing injury on the far sideline. And we will be thinking and praying for the absolute best here, but we have a serious injury late in this game. 1:08 remaining, 49-18 is your score. Casey and I are back right after this. You are listening to Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage, brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office and Delta Dental.
They walk among us, but at 240 miles per hour, they become something more. They're thrill seekers, risk takers, and maybe just a little bit unhinged. Buckle up. This new era of speed, this racing revolution, it's just getting started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.
Scary situation here down the stretch. Stewarts Creek is leading this game 49-18, but we have a rough injury on the far sideline. We're going to try and get some more details. We're going to step aside while the athletic training staff does its thing, and we will keep you guys up to date. Stewarts Creek leading this game, but we got a serious injury, 1:08 to play in this contest. Casey and I return after this on Main Street Prep's Game of the Week coverage.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Bongo Java. Come see us at the Omni Nashville.
They walk among us, But at 240 miles per hour, they become something more. They're thrill seekers, risk takers, and maybe just a little bit unhinged. Buckle up. This new era of speed, this racing revolution, it's just getting started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25 plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
They walk among us, but at 240 miles per hour, they become something more. They're thrill seekers, risk takers, and maybe just a little bit unhinged. Buckle up. This new era of speed, this racing revolution, it's just getting started.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller. Main Street Media is partnering with Borchetta Bourbon Music City Grand Prix at the Nashville Superspeedway to send a family of 4 to the race August 31st. To register, please visit any Main Street Media website and look for the Register Here banner. You'll also receive some fantastic Borchetta Bourbon Music City merchandise. We look forward to seeing you at the race.
Welcome back, folks. Heavy hearts as we get ready to close our broadcast. We've got 1:08 remaining, and unfortunately, Main Street listeners, for the second straight week, we have a very serious injury. This one is on the far sideline, and we don't have 100% confirmation on that young man just yet, so we are going to hold off. But it is a scary situation. Both coaching staffs, both training staffs, all kind of huddled, and alongside Casey Patrick, Wade Neely kind of trying to guide us through this here. Man, just another tough injury, and it happened so fast on that far sideline. In the athletic, kudos to the staff and administration here at Stewarts Creek, because everybody thrust into action immediately as soon as that happened, all the way on the far sideline.
Yeah, like you said, kudos to those guys. They had the medical people out there. They had the little UTV and everything ready to start helping that young man. They had it out there quickly. So good job to those guys. And again, just we hate for anything like this to ever happen in a football game, and especially you play 46, 47 minutes, and you've got two teams. You have a few little things here and there, little injuries, but most of those guys return to the field, but you play for 47 minutes, you play really hard, and you just want to finish out the last few minutes and go home, especially in a game like this. But I really feel bad for the Stewarts Creek folks right now.
Stewarts Creek leads this game 49-18, and somewhat at a loss for words here because for literally the second straight week, last week it happened with about 37 seconds remaining. Jackson Crawford, standout senior for Green Hill, went down. And we have not officially got an update. Our good friend and colleague David Wilson is going to effort one. Hopefully we can share that with our broadcast family next week. But he has gone down. That was last Thursday night, late in the game. And here we are yet again, 49-18, a minute 8 seconds. That play last week coming on a onside kick attempt. This was in the regular run of play. Both teams had largely, if not, or at least as best as they were able, deployed most of their backup units. So this one is, any injury is, especially of this nature, is horrific and tragic, but this one kind of coming in the regular run of play makes it really, really tough because it happened instantly. And again, kudos to the staff at Stewarts Creek because administratively, coaching staff-wise, and athletic training staff-wise, they were on hand in the drop of a hat to hit across the field and help this young man out.
Yeah, and you know, last week's injury was really tough because, you know, we said that we felt like the backup should have been in there. And this week, you know, you just got a bunch of young guys that are out there, and they're
battling.
They're just battling. They're playing their butts off. They're trying to show their coach that they've been working, they've been learning. They're trying to show their parents in the stands that you know, they're getting better. And you just got a young man that I mean, nobody even made a mistake. Nobody did anything wrong. You just you get the short end of a stick, and we're going to keep him in our thoughts and prayers.
Tough and scary situation as, again, this occurred on the far sideline, and we could not bring you 100% identification. We have a really strong hunch, but out of respect for this young man and all fans and family members that are tuned in, and, you know, not that they don't deserve this, but I think a lot of the athletic trainers that I've encountered in my life would understand and appreciate this. They don't seek the glory, they don't seek the praise, but they certainly are more than worthy of it. And Alan Overby and all that training staff, like I said, immediately thrust into action in a scary situation. And again, this came in a moment in the game, a minute 8 seconds. You know, everybody's not checked out, certainly not the players on the field, but it could have very easily, you know, everybody kind of moving on to the next thing here as soon as this game wraps up. But the training staff is working still on that far sideline, and 49-18, we continue an extended pause here for an injury timeout. Casey and I will step aside. We will get you an update just as soon as we can, but we got a scary injury on that far sideline late in this game as Stewarts Creek leads Stratford with 1:08 to play, 49-18.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
Welcome back, folks. We have largely cleared the field after a horrific injury with 1:08 to play in this game here on Main Street Media Radio. Thursday night game of the week coverage presented by the folks at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, who remind you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Also brought to you each week by our friends at Delta Dental of Tennessee. Casey, number 34, 5'11", 166-pound sophomore Andrew Robinson was carted off just a moment ago. Obviously a scary situation and obviously a big ovation. And we're sending nothing but uplifting thoughts to him and his family and friends and coaches and loved ones. And you know, real quick, and you know it's a scary situation. We saw the Stratford, it happened on their sideline, but you immediately see the reactions of the coaches and the players. That kind of really painted a grim picture as soon as it happened.
Well, and, you know, as Robinson, as they were getting him off the field, and he was getting the ovation, he reached his hand up. And so, I mean, he's, you know, it is, I do believe it's a lower body injury. So, you know, for anybody at home, just letting you guys know he was awake. He was like I said, he had the fist pump and everything. So, a nice moment for him just there, you know, just to show everybody that he will be okay. And maybe today's a bad day for him, but he'll come back stronger.
Again, 34 in your programs. Andrew Robinson, 5'11", 166 pounds sophomore. We're thinking of you, buddy. We'll be pulling for you. And it really puts a damper on what was an unusual game. Stewarts Creek led 28-0. Stratford reels off 18 unanswered, crawling back within 10 midway through the third. And then as quickly as that happened, as we get a kneel down here, one more, and we'll be out of here tonight. 49-18. And that will kneel us out. Tough one tonight to end on, Casey. Both teams will obviously go back to the drawing board. Stewarts Creek improving to 2-0, but they certainly have some homework as they host Siegel right here at Red Hawk Stadium next Friday night. And then Stratford, 0-2, but a dangerous 0-2 team. They will get ready to tangle with Lawson next week. So both teams learn a little bit more about themselves. We hate that it ended for a second straight week on a very kind of sobering note, but it was a wild game and kind of every bit as entertaining as we thought it might be at times here coming into it.
Yeah, and like you said, I think both of these teams, well, at least Stratford, they still do have quite a few questions about their team. Stewarts Creek, it's just putting the ball on the ground. You know, if they can fix that turnover issue, I think next week against Siegel could be a really fun matchup here. But Stratford, they've got quite a few simple things that they need to work on. And I say simple just because it's easy for me to tell you what it is. But as far as fixing it, it may take them a little bit of time to figure it out.
This is a Stratford team, again, slipping into the playoffs last year. Played a pretty good Sycamore team within a couple of scores. They will not go quietly the rest of the season, certainly. And they will be heard from again, I think, as this year progresses. Too much talent, and like you said a number of times, simple things, if you can clean those up, this is going to be a dangerous team. Stewarts Creek, meanwhile, obviously, I'm not Coach Caldwell and his staff, so I'm going to look at it a little differently. They're going to have a much more intense eye. I'd like to go back and watch some of those turnovers, too, because at least two of them, to me, felt like just pure bad luck. Yeah. And you use the old-school reference, you know, duct taping the ball to your hand as you walk down the hallway. It feels like you can't say that necessarily to your team, but deep down you kind of have to chalk it up. Hey, football is just a game of luck sometimes, and you catch two or three unlucky bounces there. Maybe Stewarts Creek not that far off. I certainly liked what I saw from them, especially up front in both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive lines.
Yeah, and Jerry Taylor, he did have two mistakes tonight. He had the throw back across his body, which was really, really bad. And then he had the fumble where the Stratford defender just put his helmet on the ball and forced the fumble. But other than that, other than those two plays, Jerry Taylor was, he was a wizard out there tonight. I mean, he was moving, he was smooth with his feet, he had a good arm, fairly accurate, and other than the two turnovers, he made really good decisions all night long.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. That is our final tonight. Again, 49-18, as Stewarts Creek, the Red Hawks, survive a little bit of a scare in the middle of this contest, and they win it running away by the end of the night here on Main Street Prep's Thursday night game of the week. As
we want to pause for a moment as we are praying for the family.
We got a moment of silence here.
Andrew Robinson.
As we will pay our respects to Andrew Robinson. Casey and I will do the same. We will wrap it up after a 1-minute timeout here on Main Street Preps Radio.
When the arena lights dim for a concert, or when the crowd becomes one at a big game, you can almost feel like you're the biggest fan. But who's your biggest fan? It's the person that will get you home safely after a night of drinking. It's the person who looks out for your life to make sure you leave the stadium with someone sober. This could be a designated driver or someone who offers to get you a ride share. Because in Tennessee, fans don't let fans drive drunk. Brought to you by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, a division of the Tennessee Department of Safety and Homeland Security.
At Delta Dental of Tennessee, we know our success begins and ends with providing superior quality service, and that includes serving those who need it most. This year, we're celebrating 25 years of giving back to the community we call home. Delta Dental, along with our Smile 180 Foundation, supports Tennessee's dental colleges and oral health education, children's hospitals, free and reduced cost dental clinics, and other like-minded charities. Here's to the next 25-plus years of ensuring healthy smiles.
49-18 is your final here as Stewarts Creek wins it. Again, they go to 2-0. Stratford, a really good and hard-fought effort tonight, falls to tough luck 0-2. 49-18, again, your final here as we close Main Street Preps Thursday night Week 2 action. We set the stage for tomorrow night. And a reminder, folks, if you miss any of your Friday Night Lights coverage, you can check it out online for our respective publications, but you can also snag that physical copy and check that out. Casey, another good week. We hate that obviously it was marred by injury, and we just had a really stirring and touching communal kind of moment of silence as everybody came together. Thoughts and prayers again, uplifting thoughts for Andrew Robinson, a sophomore for the Red Hawks who went down with a severe injury at the end of this contest. Outside of that, and I do not want to take anything away from that by any means, but outside of that, we had a really fun night here tonight on a gorgeous evening in Rutherford County.
Yeah, I talked about the Pac-12 After Dark earlier, and that's kind of, everything on the field. That's kind of what we got to enjoy tonight. And, definitely Stratford made made plenty of mistakes, and Stewarts Creek made a few mistakes, but a lot of fun tonight. I'm enjoying this. Like I said last week, they're paying us to talk about football, so we're in a pretty good spot. And I really wish the game would not have ended like that. Yeah. But we've had 2 weeks now where we've had quite a bit of fun watching some football.
No doubt. We'll do it all again next Thursday. Again, your Thursday, September 4th edition of Main Street Media Game of the Week coverage will be Whites Creek on the road at Mount Juliet Christian. It's going to be a fun one, folks. Casey, be safe getting home. Be safe heading to your game tomorrow night.
Yes,
be
sir,
safe watching the Tennessee Vols on Saturday.
I can't promise you that. I promise you that.
I am slightly concerned, but I know you'll do well, and it'll be fascinating. We'll break that down on our show next week. That's a wrap here from Rutherford County. Again, folks, thank you so very much to all of our fine staff behind the scenes at Main Street Preps. Thanks to producer Mark Rogers, and again, thanks to our associate producer way down there in Pulaski, Mr. Scott Stewart. And a huge, huge thank you to all of the staff here and administration at Stewarts Creek. They rolled out the red carpet. They are the Red Hawks, after all, I guess. But they rolled out the red carpet for us, and we thoroughly enjoyed our time. Make sure, if you're in Rutherford County, come back out and check out a game here at Stewarts Creek. Good football team, even better atmosphere. Couldn't say it any better as we get ready to wrap it up. Casey, let's hit this show on the road, and we will see you next week, partner.
Yes, sir. I'll see you then.
Thank you very much to Casey Patrick and all of our crew. Wayne Neely saying so long. Once again, your final score tonight, it is Stewarts Creek defeating Stratford 49-18. Good contest here tonight. We'll see you next time on Main Street Preps Radio. Good evening from Rutherford County.